Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
Yeah, that was the wrong one. Starting over.
Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with...
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
You got to watch it. You got to hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on. Everyone who's watching this video needs to
that.
go over
Don't
there,
say it like that.
And share the video. We got to keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it. I've been told by lore people for this stuff, for House of the Dragon, for the books. Yeah, Rhaenyra, she was into, dining at the Clam Slam. She was into that.
Clam Slam.
She slammed clams. She dined at the oyster bar. She was all into that.
You know how much I love Snorlax? I'm going to prove it to you. These are my slippers. All right? Snorlax. Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap who knows. I'm a grown man, and I'm rocking Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap.
No! She's not supposed to be talking about...
I have no idea what's going on, Dre, but it's fun.
Talk about that!
He's having a breakdown. Somebody call Johnny Cochran.
Woosa.
Woosa. It has shown us one thing. The fake fans, the stands, they show up. They showed up for all of these. But they're not an audience.
Nope.
They're a bunch of weirdos hanging out in a parking lot watching each other do weird shit.
Oh God.
I don't know where I come up with these. They just happen.
Are you out there watching them watch them?
I can hear them from where I am. That's the
a lot of squelching.
Yeah. Listen, at least I don't have to clean it up. That's good. Let me do it myself here. Let me get it up real quick. Hey, shut up. Shut up. I didn't mean it like that, you perverts. I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
What? What? What?
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh,
so, Jesus Christ. When I was swarmed by bugs, Dom H, the hero that he is, waded into that maelstrom of claws and jaws and gook and pulled my dead ass out and got me to safety on the ship. Dom H is a patriot and a hero.
Yeah, that was really gay.
Hey, man, you don't know what it's like being in the shit with the bugs everywhere, man. It's terror. It's a nightmare. It's horrible.
Bugs make you gay? Kind of explaining why Bill Gates is pushing so hard for us to eat bugs.
This is why I do crystal meth.
Impressive.
Most impressive.
And I gotta say, any person who uses a Funko Pop or gets a Funko Pop immediately disqualifies themselves from any fan discussion.
Unless you're getting it for a mocking reason to
Yeah,
make fun of something.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Or if it's a gift from someone.
Both of y'all suck. I hate you both.
If it's a gift from someone who doesn't know better, that's fine. I have a couple of those. But if you're going out collecting Funko Pops,
no, you're retarded. Funko Pops are awesome. I hate myself. I have a problem.
I've got loads of them.
You're a girl. You're allowed to do it. You're a girl.
It's okay for girls. They're exempt. Dre, this is not okay. We need to have an intervention.
I have a problem. I've got no shame. This girl sounds like a freaking duck being beat to death by a goose.
I'm not gonna try and win hearts and minds, pretend I'm something I'm not. Like a video game. No, it's bullshit. Not real.
Well, no, see what they do is they turn the villains into the good guys through some BS, and then they make a new villain that they then turn into the good guy because there are no villains, everybody's just misunderstood.
Oh yeah. You know what else is misunderstood? Diarrhea. That's what's misunderstood. Because even though
I think everybody understands that one pretty well.
Because no matter what I eat, no matter how well I eat, diarrhea still comes somehow. And that's exactly what this is. It's diarrhea. And I won't have no part of this. I had a couple people ask me, like, oh, did you go see Craven? Under no circumstance. I'd rather sacrifice a small goat on top of an Empire State Building and bathe in its blood before I go and see this film. I will have no part of it. I won't have any part of it. It sickens me. Sickens me from my head to my penis. I'm done with all of this garbage. I'm so done. I can't with this. So I'm glad Sony has canceled this. I mean, will cancel their universe. I don't want to see anymore. I'm honestly up to my black eyeballs of seeing any of this garbage. I don't want to see any more superhero anything anymore.
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Another perfect start. I didn't push wrong buttons or anything. Not at all. I didn't.
Well done.
And then StreamYard didn't just sit there and not react to me pushing buttons. Nothing happened. We started the show clean. Welcome to Round Table, where we've got a jam-packed show for you guys today. We got a lot to get through, more than I thought was even going to happen. But one thing just kind of piled on top of each other, and it's like, wow, okay, we got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to make fun of, a lot of things to prepare for, a little bit of preparatory, because I'm going to suffer for your entertainment next week. I am. Either way, welcome one and all. We're happy to have you here. Hello, Jed. It's as though I never see you on the weekends.
Yeah, we never see each other. I forget who you are again. You're Adam, right?
No, I'm not.
No, okay.
No, I'm one of his clones that survived from a previous show. That is something.
Oh, there's still some of those left.
Yeah, there's still some of them running around.
I don't know if you've seen the trailer for Mickey 17, but that might be an biography of your life.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay, you might need to watch the trailer. The movie hasn't come out yet, but it's basically clones keep getting made and keep dying.
I've predicted it's probably going to do well because it's going to be a nice little mid-grade science fiction. That's on my prediction list, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But how you doing? You all right?
I'm doing better now. I definitely needed some anime motorboating this morning because during the intro, I found out what they're changing in the Witcher anime film for next month. They're changing the short story. They had a list of all the changes. And yeah, it has nothing in common. In fact, goes against the themes of the short story, takes out the emotional impact of the story. It's they can't even keep mermaids and sirens straight. We already knew that, but now they can't even read.
Oh, well.
Why even say you're making it from a story? Just make up your own shit at this point and slap the label you bought on it.
Oh, and there's clearly feminist motivations because for those who don't know,
say
the short story.
No way.
based. It's a dark retelling of Little Mermaid. That's what the Witcher writer did for a lot of his early short stories. Was dark retellings of fairy tales. So this one was Little Mermaid, and it ends, with the mermaid becoming human for different reasons, more to stop a war and whatnot. There was a lot more going on, but she became human, just like in the Little Mermaid. In this one, they make the guy become a mermaid.
Equality?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, instead of her becoming human, saving the kingdom, stopping a war, it's like, you know what? Yeah, you're gonna become a mermaid, which goes against his character in the book. He's an absolute ass. He doesn't love her. He isn't a good person. He isn't trying to stop the war. He's just an egotistical dick. So he's not that same person anymore. They made him a beta male.
You know what? There is a single reason why I wouldn't want to become a merman. I wouldn't have my penis anymore. I'm gonna clip that out. I'm clipping that.
I mean, there's things you can do about that now.
No, no, I don't want fin replacement surgery to give me some sort of fake merman penis. No,
the way it would work for you, Adam, is you'd be for men become fish top half, human bottom half.
Oh no!
Go pull Victor Crumb.
Got a way to hit it with a fin.
I'm gonna do it anyway. Dragon Lady, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Hopefully, this storm will hold off until tomorrow, and hopefully, I don't get much technical difficulties over here.
Well,
if I
be safe.
end up going out, that's probably why.
It's fine. It's fine. Just stay as long as you can. As always, we're happy to have you here. Dre cannot be with us this week because he's moving. It's moving day for Dre. When he comes back, he'll be in his Funko Pop laden studio. He promised
nothing
it.
but Funkos in the background.
It's a clip from last week. I haven't integrated in yet because I want him to be here for it. It has to be here, and then we have to see it for the first time. So Dre will be back next week in his brand new studio. But we are joined by our good friend Professor Savage Dad. Hey, Prof, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad. It's good to be home. I've been in LA all week of all places, so not working mostly, but it's glad to be back home and getting a chance to stream with some friends.
We're happy to have you here. Thanks for filling in this week. And before we get started on the show, let's say, of course, hail and howdy to the chat, who are the only reason we get to keep doing this. Hail to Algrim the Strong and Legatus, my mods. One loves me, one hates me. And I never forget it because Legatus will never, ever get off the gas pedal on calling me all kinds of names. Going on down the list. Guys are talking. Huzzah, son of Joxer. How are you, my friend? Hail, Static. Hail, Ruben X. Hail, Frank Blaskowitz. And wait, real quick, though. Legatus, I showed you the boob clip. It's right there. And it's from the show Alia Sometimes Expresses Her Feelings in Russian. That is the show it is from. It's a good little show. Surprised me last season. Or actually 2 seasons ago, the fall season for anime. It was a surprise. Out of nowhere, I'm like, wow, this was a nice little rom-com, fun, interesting, great animation. Of course, that kind of joke sold it on me instantly. It's like, wow, motorboating. We love it.
Can you say that name again? Because that was a wild-ass show title you just said.
Alia Sometimes Expresses Her Feelings in Russian. Japanese titles, dude, you can't.
They don't translate well.
That's literally it, because she's Russian and she's a transfer student and she speaks both Japanese and Russian. And the premise is the guy who she's sort of into, he speaks Russian because he had a childhood encounter with a friend who taught him Russian. She doesn't know it, so when she's flirting with him, she flirts in Russian. But she doesn't know he knows it, but he does know it, but he doesn't tell her. It's part of the comedy aspect of it. So it's a good little show, though. It's actually good. I'm looking forward to season 2. It's a fun one. The source material is well loved. Anyway, so hail Frank Blazkowicz, I said that. And anybody else who is watching, not chatting, we're happy to have you here on this Saturday afternoon where it's warm again. It's a whopping 42 degrees. So I'm happy. Maybe the snow and the ice, and that's not somewhere. It's just ice out there, and it's freaking dangerous walking around. So I just hope it'll start to melt this week. Should be in the 50s for a little bit around the middle of the week. So hopefully it's going to melt. And the slip threat will be gone. And now, hopefully that was it for the storms. Hope that's it. One nice, big, nasty one be done. It's the most snow we've had around here in the past couple of years. So I'm hoping it's over like that. And as Son of Jock is right here, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. help support us. Links are in the description below. And let's get started. We got a good one today. We got to go. We got a lot to get through. The main topics are MCU discussion, the MCU follies, the problems they're going to face. We've got a big, bold-faced lie with the Captain Falcon Black America budget. It's big, it's bold, and it's not true. It's not right. On top of that, we are literally a few days away from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which I will be watching, reviewing for your entertainment. This is be fun for me.
I'm so sorry.
We got a clip to watch that we saw it on Friday on Ballbusters, but I want to share it with you guys because it's bad. It's bad all the way around. Even in 20 seconds, and there's so much wrong in that 20 seconds. You're not going to believe it. Then we've got a Hollywood discussion. I know sometimes we kind of don't go deep into it, but it's this. I've been touching on it. What does Hollywood want to do with itself now that we are in the era of Trump once more? Do they want to get back to normal? Do they want to make money? Do they want to start going back to making mid-level, easy, low-budget movies that are just there to make a little bit of profit and they just pile it on and end up having a good year? Or are they going to double, triple, quintuple down on the agenda? I don't know. We're going to watch a couple of trailers. We're going to look at a couple articles, and I'm going to present to you guys, and I want to hear what you have to say. And then we've got a video game segment. EA, out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere. We're just surprised. It was several things. People have been pointing out to me, and I mentioned it in my video. I didn't ignore it, but several things, including Dragon Age the Veilguard, has basically shot EA in the knee, took them out at the knees, and their stock took a major hit this week. Big old hit. AAA bingo card. I didn't know I needed to have on there. EA stumbling. Next to the one we know that's going to fail this year. Ubisoft does not get out of 2025 an independent company. We've got a bunch of Assassin's Creed Shadow news because that is 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away from launching. Jed's going to suffer for your entertainment instead of me on this one. So it's going to be glorious. And then we got a few other little things here and there. Got a few others. So let's start here. We got a couple of warm-ups. Let's start with this. This one just dropped while I was prepping for the show. We all have our worries about James Gunn's Superman, correct? Lots of worries. Well, they released a quick few seconds clip of Corn Swallet flying. You guys want to see it?
No.
Well, you're gonna. Tough luck.
Let's do it.
Buttercup. Ready. It's a GIF form. Best one to find is it's GIF, but it'll work. Look at this. Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
something does look a bit off.
Something
looks a little downsy.
Yeah. Oh, there's something not quite right here.
Yeah, there's what?
It's clearly one of those rubber CGI models.
Yeah.
It's just
maybe this is not final product. This is
they got 6 months. They got 6 months.
His neck's not turning like a human being. His face doesn't change. Yeah.
What's with his left eye, dude?
You know what it looks like? It looks like they put a filter on it to twist, so it looks like because there's that spot right there where it looks like his head's twisting.
Mm-hmm.
It, like you said, not human. So there's an effect they've done there to the footage or something that they need to clean it up because it makes it look too much like they corkscrewed him, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope they spot that and clean that up.
Is wild.
Yeah.
I think another one of the problems is the face. It doesn't move or react throughout the whole sequence. It looks like they just took the texture of his face, applied it to the model, and then we're done. Like even Superman going through a turn like that, he'd have micro expressions.
Yeah, and you don't see you can see how the face is almost on top of all the rest of the snow and shit blowing because you don't see it kind of.
Yeah, there's no snow that lands on his face. There's no, we got to blink because something gets in his eye. There's nothing. It's just unfazed.
Yeah,
and I don't even think that's footage of his face. I really just think that is a picture, a texture of his face that they plopped on and didn't do any changes to it.
And once again, we're getting a clear look at the suit. You see the lines. I don't like the new 52 style. I don't like the cape wedded to the shoulders like that.
I think it looks okay from behind. Like before it does the front face angle. From behind, it looks fine. Like I like the symbol being on the cape.
I apologize. My nose started bleeding there. I apologize. It's disgusting. Be off camera for a minute.
Somebody clip that.
That's not funny. My nose is bleeding. I just blew it. Now it's bleeding. It's terrible.
It's probably because it's cold and dry where you are.
Yeah, I should have used some nose spray this morning.
Yeah,
I should have used some of that.
My knuckles have been doing that here.
Oh yeah,
cracking and bleeding.
All right, so this is. I'm gonna say this is another red flag.
Yeah,
this is a red flag.
Not great.
If
that's finished product. Oof.
Yeah, if this is what you're putting out for your promotion right now, I feel like we get a Super Bowl trailer. We're getting a Super Bowl trailer. Do you think we're getting a Super Bowl trailer?
I would assume so. Yeah.
I don't know how you missed that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the next big opportunity. Now, unfortunately, because it's a Super Bowl trailer, can't make a video on it that day because who's going to watch the video on it at that point in night? So it'll be a next day thing for us. But I continue to feel like this movie's just an epic disaster waiting to happen. Every time we get a little bit of something, it doesn't increase my faith. In fact, it decreases my faith. This decreases my faith because this is your flagship movie. I mean, yeah, nobody. Let's see. Creature Commandos has been done for what, 2-3 weeks now? Is anybody talking about it? Yeah.
I didn't hear anyone talking about the finale. I saw a few people saying, "Hey, it started," but then it just kind of disappeared.
Did anybody even review it?
Not really. Dermy tried to watch it. Bug sort of did. I mean, only people on our network who are diehards and just have to check this stuff out so they can comment, check it out. But Creature Commandos came and went like a sloppy wet fart, and it's left behind a stink if you know it's there, but if you walked quickly away, you don't know what happened. And this is what we got left now. They announced today the Lanterns show. They've cast Sinestro for the Lanterns show.
Isn't he like 61 years old?
Who,
the actor?
I don't know. I have no idea who he is.
People were joking around that Hal Jordan and Sinestro will both be in their 60s, and it'll be like old man fighting each other in a nursing home show.
Yeah, the dude playing Hal. The dude playing Hal is too old. I like him as an actor, but he's too old.
Who's playing Hal? I missed the castings for this.
Oh, dude. What was he in? Shit, I can't. I think he was in Friday Night Lights. I think he was the coach in Friday Night Lights.
Oh, I think I know who you're. Yeah, he's been in a few things.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He's a good actor, good TV actor, but he's too old. Hal Jordan's supposed to be in his late 20s, early 30s, be a hot shock, big mouthed asshole.
It depends on when in Green Lantern they're planning to do this. Like if we're gonna have this like up against maybe 0 hour or something.
Yeah, but this shouldn't start so late, though. We need to see Hal in his prime. That's the same thing with starting with an old Batman with the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
I want to see a peak Batman. We've really never seen quite a peak Batman, or at least in the last 30 years. We need to see that again. We need to see peak Hal Jordan. I know a lot of people like Jon Stewart. That's not a controversial character like others like Miles Morales or anything. But we don't need to sacrifice Hal in his prime to get Jon. From what I'm aware of, they're not that far apart. It's not like it's Batman. What is that one? The future Batman where Batman Beyond. This isn't a Batman Beyond situation where this other character who is accepted as Batman is so far in the future that you need an ancient Batman or a dead Batman to make it work. They're not in relationship to each other like that, as far as I'm aware with the Green Lantern.
Yeah, they're contemporaries. Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan are contemporaries.
I thought he was a little bit younger, but not a ton.
Well, I mean, they're literally. I mean, they're both in their 30s. They're contemporaries.
Perfect. Then we absolutely don't need to sacrifice Hal to get Jon.
And that's the thing. That's the fear about the. I'm going to pause this because it's driving me crazy now. No, that's a fear about the Lantern show that they're going to use Hal Jordan to basically boost Jon Stewart, which you don't need to do. Jon Stewart has a massive fan base, myself included. I love Jon Stewart.
Oh yeah.
After Hal, he's my favorite Green Lantern.
I think he's the best Green Lantern from a functional standpoint. Kyle is my favorite, but but John Stewart was always just the best at the job, I think.
Well, because
no one's mentioning Guy Gardner.
No, because nobody cares about Guy Gardner.
Nobody cares about Guy
which is
Gardner.
which is the red flag in this movie. But John Stewart was a Marine. He was a soldier. He was essentially the best person to be basically.
And he was an architect.
Yeah.
So he knew how to imagine these fantastic.
His constructs were great. So
yeah,
I think that's a good point to make. John Stewart was perhaps the best functional Green Lantern from Earth, but. Think about what made Hal great was the fact that his imagination was limitless, that he would think beyond things. That's why his willpower was so good. But point is, none of that is going into this DCU. I have a bad feeling not only about this movie, but about that show. But they're starting off with this. This is not engendering any it's positivity from the stands, but I think people are just going, I don't want this. So we're in probably another month. We're going to come back. We're going to get a trailer from the Super Bowl, and we'll break that down. That's going to chew up all the oxygen in the room, and I'm fine with it. I want a real trailer. I want one.
The Super Bowl week is going to be really busy for everyone because it seems like that's when the first Fantastic Four trailer is going to release as well.
Oh, really?
So,
oh, no.
Oh, wow.
And a new trailer for Thunderbolts, I think, will be releasing, but who
cares about that?
Fantastic Four and Superman getting trailers the same weekend, that's going to be huge, at least on the internet. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the reception's going to be hugely positive.
Hey, listen, no matter what, it's good for us. We're gonna. It's something to talk about. It's something to break down. A real breakdown. We need a trailer for this. We need that first Fantastic Four trailer because I need to see how retarded Pedro Pascal looks as Reed Richards. I need.
Yeah, and the others seem like they're okay. The other castings are okay, but Pedro's just such a bad casting.
Terrible.
He's a company man. That's why he was hired. He will do whatever Disney wants of him. Because he'll take the paycheck. He likes being called Internet Daddy. And
it's Zaddy. He's Zaddy.
What?
I'm serious. It's not Daddy. It's Zaddy. I don't know why.
But I hate that
it's
term.
Zaddy.
I don't even know what that means.
As an actual father, I know what both of them are, and they're both gross.
Okay.
Zaddy, I think, is worse.
Well,
it is worse.
I don't want to play this game. I just don't. Anyway, there's our. So we'll look forward to that. James Gunn, you are the people who like it. I'm glad that you are finding something to latch onto, but I can't help but feel you're grasping a cope.
I mean, it's impressive for anyone to have hope these days with projects, and so I have to give people who are excited for this props. But I personally, at least, have been burned too many times and see too many red flags to be excited about it. I'm not so burned on it though that I get a black pill it, not watch it, and just refuse to hear anything positive about it. If it's good, I'm still at the point where I can accept that and enjoy the film. But I can't see it. I really can't see it right now.
Well, there's that. And then here's our other warm-up one. We got a tidbit of Disney Star Wars news this week. Guess what? They've got another writer for the Rey movie.
Oh God.
They got another writer for the Rey movie. Think about it like this. You went for the guy who did Peaky Blinders, who's a real writer and has written repeatedly good content, who probably had to deal with the Disney nonsense, probably had 2 conversations with Charmaine Obaid Chinoy. We call her Chins. Probably had 1 conversation, 2 conversations with Chins, and realized, wow, this bitch ain't right for this. She's a dumbass. She's telling me to do shit that I don't want to do. Effity bye. I'm gonna go back to doing my own shit. I got a Peaky Blinders movie to make. So he's gone. So they brought in somebody else, somebody I've never heard of, and I had to look up on the IMDb's to know. Have you guys ever heard of George Knopfli? Knopfli. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Nope.
Have you ever heard? Well, he's the new writer for the Rey movie.
Now that dude looks like a beta.
Yes, he left his man card.
He looks like he just got out of the tiny chair.
Oh no. Oh no. So let's take a look at what George Knopfli has done, shall we?
That's a terrible picture of Daisy Ridley, I just have to say.
Yeah,
That looks like some plastic surgery. I know she hasn't. She looks great.
No.
Yeah,
it's not so bad.
I don't know. It's just something
It's
about
not.
that.
It's not a flattering top. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I was more looking at her face.
Oh, well, she looks like she just sniffed a fart.
Maybe that's what it was.
So here's what this guy's done since 2003 to 2020 for his writing: The Banker, Spectral Allegiance, The Adjustment Bureau, The Bourne Ultimatum, Sentinel, Ocean's 12, Timeline. I have seen a couple of these.
I've got 2.
Only 2 of them are really famous. 3 if you count Ocean's 12, which was kind of an movie.
At least it wasn't Ocean's 13.
I used to own all those movies until I hated them. Until I hated what the actors are doing, and then I threw them all out, and I can't watch them anymore. I used to like those.
So
movies.
you're not going to watch the recently announced Ocean's 14 in theaters?
You're bullshitting me.
No. That's what I heard this week, is that they're currently working on Ocean's 14. Because Ocean's 8 was the disaster.
Let's see if that's his upcoming. Is that his upcoming? Let's hang on.
Is this where they rob the nursing home they all live in?
Listen, George Clooney needs work because everybody's angry at him. Anyway, so Bourne Ultimatum, that was the 3rd movie in the.
I can't remember anything about any of the films besides.
I remember the first one.
Bourne Identity, I remember quite a bit from, and that one I think is the best and the best received. But yeah, the others I can't remember anything.
It's quick diminishing returns of those movies. And then everybody, now I've never seen it, but I know about the Adjustment Bureau. It was pretty well received for what it was. But that's it. This guy does not have a lot of under his belt, and he really doesn't have genre under his belt.
Yeah.
Really.
Someone who's been in the industry for over 20 years at this point has only written, 8 projects? That's not a
show
lot.
Allegiance, 13 episodes, but that's television. That's not a movie. And those are 2 different beasts. So this is this tells me all I need to know. This movie, it's going to happen. I still maintain this movie happens because it's all they got.
Yes, but if a movie is made in a theater and nobody's there to see it, does it really exist?
It exists when I find it washed up on the beach thanks to a man with a silly hat on. I'm trying to.
I thought you were going for a Jumanji reference at first, and then a silly did a trans drag queen or something give it to you. I didn't know where you were going.
Johnny Depp.
I got it.
Same thing.
But it's that's that it'll happen when I find it that way. Because listen, as much as I want this movie to happen, just like I want the Mando Grogu movie to happen, which is going to happen. A lot of rumors about that, but we're not going to talk about that because that's rumors, and I don't want to play around with that. But the Dave Filoni fake Heir to the Empire movie, the James Crybaby Mangold movie, now the Sean Levy movie, all the movies, I want them all to happen because nobody's going to freaking show up and they won't be able to hide the complete and total, basically, box office flop failure. They won't be able to hide it. And this tells me nobody of merit wants to work on this movie.
Yep. Well, that's exactly what's been happening. Look what happened with the Blade movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that is Mahershala Ali still actually attached to it at all, or did he finally quit?
No, we have not. He's probably quit. They just haven't announced it yet because at this point, that movie's been suspended forever. It is indefinitely on the shelf. It's not even on any sort of schedule release anymore. They don't want to talk. They're going to hope everybody's going to forget about it. Mahershala Ali, he's as old. He was young enough when it started. It's been in limbo. It's been in development hell so long. He is now too old to be Blade.
Pretty much.
I mean, what's his bucket? Wesley Snipes is much older than him.
Exactly. And everybody, and if you're going to do it, just give us what we want. Wesley Snipes.
Well, Marvel does have one saving grace in its plan to make everyone forget that this movie is happening, because the one film that they teased Blade in for the end credit scene was The Eternals, and no one watched that, so no one even remembers.
Nope.
It's not going to be a problem for them.
Yep.
Nope. So this is a massive red flag that nobody with talent wants to go near Disney and work on these things. But the stands don't care. The stands don't care because this is all they care about. When they're talking about, oh, here comes George, here's a guy that's going to take place 15 years after Rise of Skywalker. Here's what they care about. 15 years, Finn and Poe better be married with 2 kids by then. That's who their fan base is. Yeah. Because they think Finn and Poe are gay together.
Those are the only people excited about this film, legitimately excited for genuine reasons.
That's the whole movie too. That's the thing. See, this is the thing. This is the thing though. There's so many thirsty people in Hollywood for work that they don't need talented people. These movies are made by committee and a board, so they just say, "Here's your bullet points. Please fill in this Mad Libs of a script, and thanks. We'll put your name on it. Here's your paycheck. Bye."
Yeah, and they're playing it to people. But here's the thing: we know the reality. We know this is doomed. We see Disney Star Wars falling apart. Because I'm going to jump to my main page here. A couple things I railed upon. Star Wars Holocron has the balls to go out and say The Acolyte was the #2 most viewed series on Disney Plus in 2024 with 2.7 billion minutes viewed. My response, as we know, the stands openly said during the failed renewal campaign, we're leaving it on over and over again to create minutes watched. This is not people really watching it. These are morons leaving it on for days and days and days at a time in a vain attempt to pretend to manufacture fake interest. So we know Disney Star Wars is failing, but they live in a fantasy world to make a fake report like that, for Disney to put it like that. We go on down a little further. Weirdos like this one of the last few who haven't blocked me, of the weirdos. Rise of Skywalker, if you disagree, you can go eat rocks. And this person is this person's getting blasted all over the place. And they're calling. I saw one of them reply.
Person probably likes that.
Well, they're a tranny. Of course they like it. I heard them say, "Hey, Moots, help me ratio all these bad people being mean to me." They live on social media. There's only about 80,000 of them because that's all who signed the damn petition.
That was everyone too, man. That petition was literally every person they had.
You are exactly correct. That was all they have, and that is why it is glorious. I'm going to pause this so it just stops moving again.
And know some of those were sock puppet accounts too.
Oh, yeah. It was higher than it used to be, and once they verified it on change.org, they decreased it. They decreased it a little bit. But it's the whole entire Disney Star Wars thing is it's falling apart. But they are going to live in their fantasy world. They're going to tell us that everybody watched Skeleton Crew. They're going to tell us, oh, Andor Season 2 is going to be the greatest, most serious, bestest Star Wars ever. And when we get to Mandalorian Grogu, it's fantastic. Oh, don't you want to read a bunch of comics right now about Han, Luke, and Leia making the word? Here it is right here. Don't you want to read all these comics about them building the New Republic, the Battle of Jakku, which turned out to be a giant failure? I think there's another one down here I commented on. Ignore my other shit. Where is it? I don't know where it is. Maybe I replied to it or something. Anyway, point is, there is another one out there where, oh no, it's in my bookmarks. It's in my bookmarks. Hang on. I know where it is. It's in my bookmarks. Go. Boomer moment. Don't pay attention to me. They are constantly trying to pretend. Here it is right here. I got it. They constantly try to pretend that it's some sort of great and fantastic world building that Disney Star Wars is doing, that they're bringing you the creation, all the adventures of extra Han, Luke, and Leia. Look at this thing. Luke, Han, Leia, and Lando Chewie 3PO celebrating the birth of Kylo Ren. First of all, look at this artwork. What is this?
Oh, yeah, dude. Modern comics are a disaster of bad art, dude. If you go to a comic shop, you'll see tons of Star Wars sitting there. I can't find Transformers or G.I. Joe books when I go, but Star Wars and Spider-Man and like Superman and shit, tons of that on the fucking recent release shelf.
Mm-hmm. And you look at this thing. We're just going to ignore the dialogue because it's going to be garbage anyway. Look at the fake tropes of Disney Star Wars and remind you of one thing before I go further. This is Jake Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
This is Leia Poppins, General Leia Poppins, and this is Deadbeat Dad.
who's touching his black best friend way too intimately.
Yeah, and they think putting a beard on him is some sort of win. And what I love about
he already has a beard in these comics. Her name's Leia.
He doesn't. They didn't even try to make it look like Han Solo. Like his face is totally off.
And now look at these things. This is the failure of these uncreative, untalented artists who draw this stuff. The obsession that Luke forever wears a black glove after Return of the Jedi. He wore a black glove in the movie because his hand was damaged. When it got repaired, he didn't wear the glove all the time anymore. But they're obsessed with that. And then why is Lando wearing his Bespin outfit?
Because that's what he's iconic for. That's all this is recognizable iconography. Same thing with the glove.
He doesn't have any other clothes.
In the Jabba the Hutt sequence at the beginning, he had a flesh-looking hand right before it got shot.
Yeah. It's his prosthetic
realistic.
hand is normal. The only reason he wears the glove is because when he gets shot during the rescue, when he shows him putting the glove on in the X-Wing on the way to Dagobah, you can see the gears. He puts it on, and you even hear the gears. He puts it on to cover it up, and there's no time in the rest of the movie to get a replacement. But when all is said and done, he gets a new hand because he doesn't walk around with a black glove on one hand for the rest of his life. It's not how it works. But
I would have never caught that, but you're 100% right. That doesn't make any sense.
Fake fan stands will always put the glove on his right hand forever. All these fake Disney Star Wars bullshit, they are constantly doing it because, his one black glove, it's iconic. It's from Return of the Jedi. People will recognize it. It doesn't make any sense. Listen, even some normal era real Star Wars stuff did that too. When they had him make appearances in some video games, he would appear and be wearing the glove. It doesn't make any sense when somebody does that because it was a momentary thing for the movie. So that when he's facing Vader in the throne room and Palpatine and Vader are taunting him, and Luke, when he's standing over Vader after he's beaten him, and Palpatine says, "Now take your father's place at my side." Luke has to look at his hand, and he goes like this. You hear the gears move, and then he looks at Vader's severed hand and realizes, "Oh shit, it started. I can't do this." It's supposed to be the symbolism: black hand, glove, black gloved hand. It all is a point. George did it for a reason. There's no reason we're wearing a black glove in the future. None. They don't know that. So this is the example of the lameness of Disney Star Wars, the failure of it. Nobody's going to buy these comics. Anybody, if Dre was here, he would make sure we understood that from how the comics sales, this and that. This shit never sells. Comparatively to anything else. Doesn't rank.
I look at the sales charts every other week.
Okay.
You don't see them in the top 25, top 50.
Right, so
they're just not there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see Star Wars there. And if you go, I go to 3 comic book shops around me whenever I'm trying to find something, or if I'm picking something up, which is rare. I don't get a lot of modern shit these days from Marvel, DC, Image, any of them. But yeah, you see tons of Star Wars books there. You can go to the recent releases shelves and shit. And these guys, unfortunately, I feel bad for the stores. They're stuck with this crap that no one's buying.
Yeah. I feel bad for the stores. I don't feel bad for the people making this garbage.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I made the mistake of reading the dialogue during this, and it looks like Chewie's dick is saying he's beautiful.
You're right!
No, I was going to say, like, it also looks like Lando's ass is that Leia or Lando's butt talking there? Like, these balloons are poorly done. Like,
yeah,
do you see
that's supposed to be Luke saying that, and that's supposed to be to Leia, and that's supposed to be to Han. And, oh my god,
is it? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, the balloons are completely
This
off.
is supposed to be Luke saying that.
Oh god,
no. Instead, it's
but it's
Dick, Red Rocket.
and I don't know if you read Han Solo's dialogue, but he's saying, "Why would anybody leave?" Hinting that he's going to be a deadbeat dad.
No, I hadn't focused on it. Deadbeat dad Han.
He just randomly says, "How could anybody leave?"
That pissed me off so much.
This is so pathetic. But
Awakens.
but now to go back here, the stands like this dude who, again, I try to get blocked. Yeah, this guy's a 100K channel. Yeah, you bought your fucking subs, asshole.
Why do they refuse to say 3PO's and R2's names like they're actually written?
Actually, that's how you do write it in a Star Wars novel. You say R2 in the books. Yeah.
All right, I have a problem with that then.
That's how it's been for decades. You write out R2 in the book, and
that's really dumb.
When you're talking about them, you say R2 the numerical.
Yeah, you.
But when you're having a conversation, well, right here it should be 3PO and R2 in a conversation. Like you were saying 3PO. Like if Luke says 3PO or Han says 3PO, this is what you write in dialogue in Star Wars, and you write R2 in dialogue. But when you're talking about
just dialogue, then
if it's dialogue, yes. If it's talking about them, you say 3PO or R2. That I could break out dozens, thousands of examples.
Okay, so this isn't directed to that person, but yeah, I still think that's
no. Well, no. Right now, this person's wrong. It should be 3PO and R2 when describing them in a conversation. It's written out. That's it was established a long time ago. But it's retarded, and they're retarded. They think this is a win, and it's a failure. Disney Star Wars is falling apart. We're gonna be here to see it. The next thing we get is Andor season 2. I'm still on the fence whether or not I'm going to review it. I will need motivation from the chat to do it. I will need motivation.
The chat will provide.
Yeah, but I'm not putting up a poll. I'm gonna need real motivation. like pay me.
He means super chats, chat. Come on.
I mean super chats.
I pay you to put up a poll.
Moving on. I'm not going to dignify that at all. Anyway, but yeah. So
that's what he said.
Star Wars. Yeah, I don't care what you think I said.
What does the chat think you said?
I have enough problems. I have enough problems with everything that I have to deal with. But so there. All right, that's our warm up. Wow, that warm up took longer than I thought. Let's get into the real shit. Quick here. The budget and the presentation of Wolfman. This is bookkeeping purposes. I'm going to be taking my first L here. We are 2 weeks in. It's only made $27 million on its $25 million budget. The L. I take an L. This is not. I thought this was going to do okay for the realm it was in, but no, this thing has been being universally rejected by people.
Oof.
What would you say about 65 to break even? 60. It's got 60. Its budget. I don't think is equivalent.
60 million probably to break even, and it's not going to get there.
No.
It's not going to get there. So I was wrong.
That drop, that second week drop is insane.
I take my L. I take my first L in my predictions for the year, unless they have a surge in the next couple of weeks, which I doubt they will. Because
Wolfman should have been an October release, though.
Yeah,
probably
makes more
they
sense.
Should have released it while Nosferatu is still in the theater. I'd still rather probably go see that.
Yeah, I mean,
Nosferatu is fantastic.
This thing's had its release for the world, and it's gone nowhere. World doesn't care. So there's my first L. We're just. This is for note taking purposes, for ledger purposes. So I take my L. I got this one wrong. I still got a bunch left. The ones I really want to be right about, I think I'm gonna be right about. So that was let's just get
this. Was an unimportant one.
Yeah,
just the
first one
fill in your roster.
It was the first one on the list, so I had to acknowledge it. But there's no other budget news to talk about, no box office news, because nothing came out. Nothing matters until 2 weeks from now with Black Falcon, Captain America, which is our first intended real topic. That Star Wars one went on for a little longer than I thought. But Black Falcon, Captain America, we got a glorious piece of, I'll say it, fake news to fluff it.
That's now, so bad. It's a fanfic. That budget is bull.
I know.
It can't. They shot that film. They reshot the whole fucking thing at least once.
No, they've done it 3 times. This thing has been reshot 3 times.
I thought it was 4.
Well, yeah. fully reshot twice. Extra reshoots to add stuff up a couple more times.
Makes sense.
If you go on all the different announcements everybody made, we're going back here, we're going back there. Seth Rollins saying he's not in it anymore. This thing, there is no way in the world it has $180 million budget.
No fucking way. That's insane.
I could believe that for the initial production. I could buy that number. It's still low, but I could at least buy that number for a, not mainline MCU. Like, no one cares about this version of Captain America. It's not going to get the same budget as something else.
No.
But after those reshoots, which make it a completely different movie. This isn't just, oh, we missed some stuff, let's fill in some stuff. It's a rewritten script. It's a different movie for each of these reshoots.
Yeah.
So I'd say add in at least half of that budget for each of the reshoots, the two main ones that you're talking about, and then another half for the others. That budget is bananas.
I'm going to believe the original leaks, because as this thing's been reported on to death because it happened in the middle of the week already. But we know that this thing has to cost between 375 and 400 million. It has to.
I'd say at least 400. Yeah,
it's right up there with Snow White with the amount of work that it's had after it finished, after principal photography and all that shit ended. It got touched a million times, like Snow White. Like, these are two huge cost sinks that Disney has had in the next 2 months that look to be, they're gonna have to do something. I don't know what they'd have in their back pocket to make up for it, but with two giant bombs dropping,
they've got nothing. Listen, they have one movie. I mean, if we go back to my list, you know what? Let me bring this down. I'll bring it up because I keep the photo around for this purpose so that we can refer to the release schedule. They've got 2 or 3 on this list that are going to be winners this year, but not because they intended to be, but because either of the brand they're a part of and the phenomena they're a part of, or because I don't think Disney prepared. So going back to this real quick, failure. We agreed, also failure. We agreed Lilo and Stitch, if it sticks to the original movie, it'll do fine.
Maybe. My wife loves that movie, and she thinks the CG version of him looks creepy.
It's pretty accurate though. It still looks like Stitch is the thing. This is a probable winner.
Probably.
Elio, failure. Jurassic World, that'll be a winner, but that has nothing to do with them. They bought that. They bought that franchise in the Fox deal, and they still owe probably at least $68 billion on paying that back. Remember, 72.
Jurassic World is Universal, I thought.
That's Universal? Sorry.
Yeah, it is Universal.
I thought that was Fox. Never mind.
I didn't know they had a new movie coming out.
Moving on.
I'm actually looking forward to this movie now because some people from earlier in the franchise have been brought in, and there's been comments made about the direction they want to go, make it a little bit more scientifically accurate. And I think it'll at least be better than the last 2 at this point.
Well,
which isn't hard.
Not Disney. I made a mistake.
Discussion.
Moving on. First Steps, failure. We've already said that. Freakier Friday, probably a safe movie. Will not ruffle feathers. Tron Ares, going to be a flop. Where it is? There, Avatar. That's going to make all the money in the goddamn world. We still don't understand why.
I don't think Avatar will be able to make enough money to make up for the other failures this year.
Because Tron Ares is going to be a big failure. Snow White, failure. Captain America, failure. Not enough people are going to see Lilo and Stitch. It's not going to be $1 billion movie. Thunderbolts is going to be a failure. Fantastic Four will be a failure. It will not make the money they need it to. So there is failure all over the place here. So you have a $180 million budget, they claim, when in reality is closer to 350, 400 million when you need that $1 billion break even. It's all going to fall apart. They have no wins this year. Everything on Disney Plus doesn't make money. Nobody's buying the merch. Nobody's buying anything. The parks are losing foot traffic comparatively to Universal, especially with Epic Universe opening this year. There's going to be a big tidal change in what's going on. But here's the point of it. Why do they think, because we already know it's a lie, people talk about it, why do they think they can get away with the $180 million lie? Why?
They believe people will just, their fans will just listen to them, and they'll just take it on their word. I'd imagine whenever some sort of tax statement comes out or something else, as we found in the past, people will be like, oh my God. But the reason they think that, I don't know if they know that they're going to get away with it, but they have to put this out there because they have to keep their stockholders happy with them. Because when this bombs and Snow White bombs, if they have a down year, and their stock starts to drop again, they open themselves up to exactly what happened last April all over again. Except I don't think it turns out well for them again.
Listen, I made a prediction last April that was the trial run. That was the trial one. That those who want to take some actual seats on the Disney board, not just one, but 1, 2, maybe 3, they're going to come back more organized and better the next time around with bigger backers,
potentially with more money,
not just Perlmutter, but Elon.
Yeah, I predict that like. And this is the thing, they're going to wait to kick them when they're down. They're going to hold this off until they see them start. And I think even Perlmutter said like they'd come back when it hit 65 or 70 or something like that a share.
When the stock drops to a certain point, they'll buy back in and get more power to try and make a bigger run. So I'm on the record. The receipts are there. Go back and check it. I said, and you're right there with me. They're going to come back. It's going to happen all over again. And this could be the year again. They could happen all over again because there is no winning on this. They say it's now. I don't think this thing has a 95 million domestic on opening weekend.
No.
Where do you see the actual interest in this movie?
Nowhere. My kids
not genuine interest. A few people like, oh my god, how bad is it going to be?
Yeah, but.
But for at least the Marvel side of things, I can't say with Disney when their stock's going to drop, but I think a big point where Marvel is going to lose its stock to such a point that it's at a vulnerable position like you're talking about is Doomsday. Doomsday is they're bringing in the full weight of their cast. They're doing another Endgame with so many people in it that its budget has got to start out at being about 400 million, let alone whatever reshoots are on top of that. And then when that fails,
RDJ alone has pumped up that budget all by himself with that. What was it, $80 million?
And you know that's got to be a cameo fest. So they've got they're going to be shelling out cash for Ryan Reynolds and fucking everyone else. I don't think they get Scarlett Johansson back, but
they need to follow up on that scene from Deadpool Wolverine where you see Thor over Deadpool. They have to follow up.
That's rumored to be in Secret Wars rather than Doomsday.
You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean.
Both of them are going to be that, though. It's going to be,
and I think that'll be the point. I think that'll be the point where it's undeniable that Marvel's failed. I mean, we all know that because we're paying attention, but the stands are still pumping it up. The media is still pumping it up. That a lot of normies don't quite realize what precarious position Marvel's been in since Endgame, and besides the Spider-Man films, of course. And once those Avengers movies comes out, Marvel will be clear and present danger.
They're going to limp into those movies. They're going to be limping.
Yeah.
Those movies are both 4 years away.
Oh, yeah, they did just get redelayed.
The brand does not hold any sort of traction that long. It doesn't.
Nope.
Because think of what this year alone, Thunderbolts. Well, first this, then Thunderbolts, then Fantastic Four. And then on the TV side, you've got the Ree Williams show. And listen, you brought this up a minute ago before we got started. The Daredevil show. Everybody's excited. That trailer, it gave him a shred of hope. Brock, you said you read something before I'm on that, right? What the guy said?
That was me.
It was Jed. Sorry, Jed. What did he say?
You want me to bring that up?
Yeah, bring it up.
All right, I have it right here for you guys. So yeah, it's the new showrunner of Daredevil Born Again, talking about the previous Netflix shows. So Daredevil Born Again showrunner says the show has a lot less, quote, navel gazing than before, a lot less navel gazing. Now, what the hell does that mean to begin with? And he clarifies by saying the earlier show at its best was fantastic. I would 100% agree. The Daredevil Netflix show is great. At its worst, it was two characters in a room talking about what a hero is. I felt that had been done. I'm not taking swipes. I just don't want to hear characters grousing about their life a lot. Yeah, those are the most iconic scenes in Daredevil. I'd say the hallway scene from season 1 is probably the most iconic fight scene. And then there's the conversation between Daredevil and Punisher on the roof in season 2, I believe it is. That's what he's referring to as navel
absolutely.
gazing. And those scenes are iconic. It's character work that makes Daredevil so memorable because, yeah, it didn't have a massive MCU budget. The budget for Daredevil season 1 was minuscule. And so they had to rely on navel gazing. And when they relied on navel gazing, it made it one of the most popular superhero properties of the last few years, at least television wise. I would say Daredevil is probably the most popular superhero television show.
It is. It is.
It was the best done one.
It was absolutely the best done one. But when you're taking shots at a show that you're continuing off from, and just the median in general and the character that you're working with, you're gonna lose a lot of people because that trailer, I have to admit, that trailer that we got last week looked pretty good. I mean, it didn't blow me away or anything, but there weren't red flags. It looked interesting. I could see myself voluntarily watching it without the whole YouTube sphere, just on my own, as I was going to check it out to see if it was any good. Now, with comments like this, degrading those great character moments to navel gazing, I just think is a step way too far. Like if you just said, hey, we're going to be a little bit more action oriented because we have the budget for it, I don't think anyone would have a problem with that. But specifically mocking those previous character moments and coming up with the term to mock them is it's disgraceful, honestly.
It's a really big red flag that tells me he doesn't understand the character, because that kind of characterization and this constant conversation about what a hero is, am I doing the right thing, am I doing the wrong thing, not only is that key to the Daredevil television series, that's key to the fucking character. That's been like all of the most iconic moments in Daredevil's comics by the most iconic people who ever wrote them are what this guy would call navel gazing. Like, dude, check the fucking room before you post stupid shit like this. Like, this is... Well, this just distinctly tells me he doesn't get the character at all. He hasn't read a book. Like, dude, go read Frank Miller's fucking run on it, man. Understand the character a little bit.
Well, Prof, you said check the room. No, he's not talking to our room. He's talking to the room of the... of the celebrity sycophants, of the industry sycophants. That's who he's talking to, because he wants the praise from them. He doesn't care what the fans think. He doesn't care what true Daredevil fans think. He just wants to be patted on the head for, oh, you did this right. Good job. That's what he cares about. So MCU, we said this when we did our first stream of the year. Start off, they're gonna have they don't have a good year ahead of them. It's gonna be rough, and you do not present confidence when you lie, when you boldface lie, and everybody calls out. I know that others have dug them up and shown the stands, pretending to say, the reputable sources have said it's $180 million, so we don't need to listen to these chud YouTubers. No, that's why we call them shills. They're shills. They are water carriers. They are paid to do the bidding of their Hollywood masters, of their corpo masters. We deliver, some people deliver news because they have inside sources who are willing to give them the information for, of course, the deal that don't tell who I am. And then you have other people like me who I have no sources. All I have is my ability to see what's here and analyze and give you a thoughtful, logical discussion on it. We present the case with all the facts and the logic, combined with the people who are getting direct insight on what's going on. And we are telling you the truth, because why would we not? Why would we do otherwise? Because when all of this started, did any one of us ever say, now that Endgame is over, I want the MCU to suck?
No. I was concerned, though. Like, when it was over, it was such a definitive ending. I thought to myself, like, where do you go from an ending this complete?
You shift
like,
gears.
It's done.
You shift gears.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a focus on the Avengers and those types of heroes. The simple answer, you shift gears. You go to the X-Men. You go to the Fantastic Four and those who gather around them for those adventures. It's a very simple shift, because we don't need to keep telling the same stories of characters whose entire 10-year story arc just ended. There are other big bads out there who are associated with these other big-name Marvel teams. It would have been a simple shift. Or, as the saying was back then, take a break, take a breather, put it to bed. Let it rest for a couple of years. Do nothing. But no, it's been one piece of crap after another. And here we are. It's been
Yep.
now 6-7 years since Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
About
are
6 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a complete and total mess. People are disenfranchised. I don't want to say they have superhero fatigue. They have bad movie fatigue.
Yep.
They don't want this stuff. They don't. Your Thunderbolts, a movie of leftovers from the worst of the MCU phases 1 through 3, and a little bit of 4.
dude.
With the exception of Bucky,
about-
but Bucky's been done dirty.
Yeah, completely done dirty. That's such a missed opportunity there. Imagine if they'd have done that, at least even remotely correctly, with some of the villains we got, like the secondary villains, a proper Baron Zemo. Like,
yeah,
I mean, damn, that could have been great. The reveal at the end of the movie, like you play it straight, like the comic did originally through the whole movie, and then you have that in credits mask off. Like, fuck, dude. That's just so disappointing how much they just are wasting that. Just
But
a complete
that's the
fucking
MCU in
waste.
general. It's a waste. It's a waste of time, a waste of money, and I could say it hasn't really made a profit in years. There's been no profit. Whatever Guardians of the Galaxy 3 earned, it wasn't enough to balance the books compared to all the failures.
God, no.
Yeah.
And same with Deadpool.
Yo, Deadpool isn't even the MCU. It's in the MCU, but that was a Fox Marvel property. It was a send-off. And all it proved is that people want those characters more than they want the current day Marvel. People want, we said before, people want Wesley Snipes' Blade. People want that.
People even want Channing Tatum's Gambit over fucking Shang-Chi.
They
like,
want his
fucking give me that any day.
They want his Gambit, who was over the top, cheesy, retarded in that movie for a reason. But they want that more than they want Shang-Chi, more than they want Florence Pew Pew Black Widow.
Oh yeah, dude. A Gambit movie with some just I don't know, gorgeous Southern woman as Rogue, the big thick booty. Oh my god, what a fantastic! I'd watch that a million times.
Yeah, I mean, I believe now there was a rumor today. I saw it. They've got some black activist rumored in line to play Storm.
Oh yeah, the one lady from Wicked, and I don't think anybody really wants that.
Her name has been thrown around as well. There's a lot of names right now being thrown around for the X-Men cast, including the chick from Wicked.
Listen, I want the Cavalrine, baby. I want the Cavalrine.
Dude, I'm down for that. I think he could do it.
I don't know if he's going to, because there's reports that Hugh Jackman is signing a 10-year contract with Marvel.
What are they going to do? Old man Wolverine forever?
I mean, Cavill's got a pretty busy schedule right now. I don't know if he would have time to do a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Well, knowing his life, a lot of these projects are going to fall through or barely start, and then they're
don't say
disappear. That. They're gonna get destroyed like The Witcher and Superman. So you never know. He might be free in like 2 years.
I want the Highlander movie to be good because they either just finished filming it or they're filming it right now. We all want 40K to be good. We all want that, and he's got something else he's working on that I want it to be good. We want him to be James Bond. I mean, we want that kind of good stuff because Cavill's like one of those dudes that just can't catch a break. He's a great actor. He's a great fan. He's a great nerd. He's a great ambassador to nerddom. We want him to be successful, but he just hasn't really done the giant thing.
I heard Zac Efron potentially is Wolverine. And if
that
you look
name's
at,
been thrown around for a long time.
If you look at him now
he got big from that wrestling movie. He got really big.
Yeah.
And
he might be able to pull it off.
And he's a bit shorter too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not a tall dude. He's not a big dude.
Yeah. Like, you look at him now, and I think that, like, okay, you could probably pull this off because, like, he might even be bigger than Hugh Jackman was.
Oh, he is bigger.
Movies
he had more bulk.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman didn't start out being very bulky.
Oh no, go all the way back to the first X movie. He was lean. He had like no muscle whatsoever.
Yeah, he was just fit. He was cut everywhere.
Was it Origins that he started to get his jacked look?
No, I think it was. It was the second Wolverine movie that was the most. That's the one where he's like completely cut.
Just Wolverine,
Dude, I just found Efron from the wrestling movie. Yeah, he could pull that off. I think he's got the look, definitely.
I haven't seen enough of his acting to know if he can pull it off, though. Most of what I've seen is Baywatcher, High School
comedy.
Musical,
He was a comedy guy. The wrestling movie was one of the first super serious things he's ever really, really done. He's done other stuff, but he's more known for romantic comedies, comedy shit, Disney shit. So that's
the same shit that Hugh Jackman did before too. So I mean,
yeah, I'm not taking digs at Efron. I'm just saying he's not known for this stuff. But if he wants to transition into doing that type of role, that's fine. But back to the point is they could have done this so many different ways, but right now they're not on track to do any of this stuff. They are Disney to the T. We're gonna bring back everybody you used to love, who now you hate because they shoot their mouths off politically, and we're gonna put them back on the screen and pray that you have short-term memory loss, and you don't remember how much you hate them from 5 minutes ago during the election season. We're gonna pray. And guess what? It's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole problem what they had with the Captain America, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
With the new movie, the whole movie was originally written to basically take a shit on half the country, and when they realized that wasn't gonna play, they've had to do their best to try to fucking adjust it. But I don't think that like you can base an entire movie around a particular ideal like that and fix it, even though they reshot the whole thing. Like it's gonna look like it. It's still gonna.
Well, there are people who are legitimately saying that Disney and Marvel isn't woke because Harrison Ford in Brave New World is actually a Biden reference.
F right off.
Because he's old and feeble.
Yes, that's their only evidence for that. It's like I don't see that.
Neither do I.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've just made this case now. Disney as our example, and there are other corpo Hollywood out there, they're still going to push through all this stuff because they don't want to change. So here's our discussion topic now for this. With the re-election of Trump, he made that epically hilarious, somewhat based announcement of making Stallone, Mel Gibson, and John Voight ambassadors to fix Hollywood. I thought that was great. I'm like, damn, that's cool, because you look at Stallone. Stallone he has a lot of great stuff going on right now. He's making good TV with Tulsa King, and he's just going out there and doing good ambassadorial work for good quality entertainment. You've got Mel Gibson, who is just on a based terror right now of just saying all the right shit, and who had a lot of, we'll just say, drama in years past, but he mea culpa'd. He literally apologized. He got educated, and he stopped drinking. So yeah, Mel Gibson, big one, went through. He regenerated, reformed. He came back, and I can happily watch Lethal Weapon again because I missed watching Lethal Weapon. I really did. But Mel Gibson coming out there doing stuff, and John Voight's been pushing for this stuff for years as well. Yeah, not backing down, doing good work on the side. Him and guys like Gary Sinise doing good outside work to work with veterans or work with people who are struggling in that. They've been done good work that. So you have that side who clearly, in my opinion, represent, let's get back to business. Let's make more movies. Now, you guys have probably seen this, but I'm going to play it again anyway, just because I want to show it as an example. You got this Mel Gibson movie coming out right now called Flight Risk with Wahlberg and Topher Grace and the chick from Downton Abbey. So let's watch this real quick. I'll be pausing it periodically for transformative purposes and a little commentary. But this is the example for me. And I'm not saying this is going to be some sort of big blockbuster hit. No, this is a perfect mid-level thriller that they used to make all the time, low budget, and will hit that perfect little note for people who want a simple movie like this. So let's go through this for a second. They have the trailer before the trailer, which we all hate, but let's just get through it.
Marshall before. Hope you like flying. Beautiful day for it. Deputy Harris, Hope you like flying. Beautiful day for it. I never flew U.S. Marshal before.
See, now there it is. Now, from what we understand, this is the movie. They're in this plane for the movie. Here you go. How not a big budget.
It's just, yeah, you're just shooting it all inside the plane. That ought to be.
I mean, there's a fair amount of CGI, I'd imagine, for the exterior of the plane, out the windows and whatnot. But I just looked it up. The budget is $25 million.
Oh,
that's a teeny budget these days.
Yeah.
And I can see why. If they're sticking just in the one set with 3 actors, that'll save them a lot of money. And none of these actors are very expensive. Like Wahlberg is a big name, but he's a realistic name. Like he's not one of the ones that's going to ask for a $10 million.
But here's the thing: these are all quality actors.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Wahlberg is a good actor. Topher Grace is a good actor.
We all remember his Venom.
Well, shut up. This lady from Downton Abbey, she starred in this show for 6 seasons and had 2 successful movies as the same character. She's a quality actress. I enjoy her. I always forget her name, but I enjoy her. And her American accent leaves something to be desired. I hate it when they do that, but this is a quality 3-person cast. And Topher Grace says barely anything in this trailer. It says like 1 or 2 words. So everything else is kind of outside. So this is the movie. You said $25 million. This could be a sleeper hit. If this thing makes just $100 million in total, wow, that's pure profit, man. It only needs.
Well, it's like.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's like with the movie Sound of Freedom, tiny little budget, and $100 million, but it made a shit ton back. Like that's what's. God, I miss that shit from Hollywood. Give me a sub-$100 million film any day of the week compared to the multi-hundreds of $1 million slop we've been getting.
I mean, this thing needs, just like with Wolfman, this needs $60 million to break even. And I think it does that no problem.
Well, it's opening weekend. It's gotten 12.
Oh, it's already open. It's opening weekend. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm showing 12 on the numbers at least. Only domestic.
I didn't know it opened
hasn't
this
opened
weekend.
Internationally.
I did not know it opened this
weekend. It made more than Mufasa this week.
Oh, well, there you go. No, I think in its run, I think this is one of those things that can have good word of mouth, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And
these types of movies can stay in theaters for a while. Like another one like this, Jason Statham's Beehive or whatever, Beekeeper, was in theaters for a while. And its opening wasn't massive or anything, but it's one of those movies that if you're just casually, like, I feel like going to the movies, what's in, it's one of those ones that will repeatedly be watched like that.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got these guys doing this, and then you've got Mel Gibson, who is a quality director. Mel Gibson is very good in the director's chair. He knows how to make good movies. This thing could be good. So let's keep going, and we'll stop again in about 20 seconds.
Why is he all chained up?
I have to get him to New York so he can testify against the Moretti crime family.
Okay, hey, you're the boss.
Now we're coming up on a moment here that did shock me in the trailer when the fight starts. Now, I wish they'd stop doing this type of music stuff, but it's actually good theme setting. It does theme it, but I'm not a fan of this type of music.
Is it always this bumpy?
No, a number of passengers left their lunch up here. I can open a snack bar.
And just pausing again for transformative purposes, and it's got a good build right here. Good place shot. Suddenly, this trailer does a good job of pointing out what this movie's going to be and getting the interest in it right there. But there's blood there. Why is there blood there? Okay, everything goes to pot now.
Your neck okay? You got a scratch there.
Maintenance. Occupational hazard.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm a real life fire.
There we go.
Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Now this, I didn't know this was gonna be this type of movie where it's just a thriller in a plane like this, and it's the disaster of trying to land. Producer of Prey. Well, that's Jed, how do you feel about that?
I lost all interest for this movie. It's gone. I can't believe that this person still has work. Producers, I don't give a shit about producers.
Kathleen Kennedy was a producer. Who gives a fuck?
They're money people. They're not creatives.
Yeah.
Moretti's very disappointed in you, Winston, and he wants you dead.
Now that got me. that Mark Wahlberg.
Wow.
That and we know that's a piece. That's a prosthetic, but man, that surprised me when we saw. Oh damn, he's super bald in this. Okay.
Don't shoot him, we need him!
Mayday. We've been compromised. The pilot's a hitman.
Now, I want to say, you're going to get interest because here you go. Female marshal. Female marshal exists. How does she win that fight? A taser. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's not a girl boss move. That's not a Mary Sue. That's using tools.
Yeah. She's got her gun. She's got a taser. And she locks them
Mechanical
up.
advantage, dude.
Yeah. Use your tools. So there you go. You can't. And now I'm sure, again, if it was an MCU movie, there's some sort of acrobatic fight in that really small space with a Black Widow.
Exactly.
Florence Pugh flying around in there doing head scissor takedown in a 4-foot space. But no.
She has magical nega bangles that show up and save her.
I thought you said magical.
What'd you say?
I did say magical.
I'm gonna tear you apart.
All right, well, we've seen enough. Basically, it's all about how do they land the plane? How do they get through their crisis? How do they survive this? They need his help. They can't kill him. Look, there's going to be fights in there. This is what a classic mid-level budget movie used to be.
Yep.
Or even small budget, $25 million. That's nothing. That's a drop.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of character work in there. A lot of people they actually have to act in this. The scenery and the CG can't do it for them. The showrunner of Daredevil would call this movie a lot of navel gazing.
Yeah. So you realize this is $25 million. Remember the budget of The Acolyte, $220 million. For literally almost the same amount of screen time when you pull it all together of actual content. Disney wastes money, but here you go. This is Lionsgate, a small budget movie. And I hope this movie does well because it's a return to normal. So you have guys, and it kind of interesting the fact that Mel Gibson is behind this movie. One of the dudes that is kind of in charge of trying to get things back to normal. So on the one side, you've got that. But then on the other side, as I mentioned before, you've got this. Disney defies Trump order on DEI and SC filing, admits to tying bonuses to race and sex-based factors, appears to list diversity as a skill. They don't care. They don't want to go back to normal. They want to keep going down this direction. They want to keep pushing it because let's look at this a little bit here. In a recent annual filing with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, the Walt Disney Company showcased unwavering commitment to its controversial DEI agenda. While companies like Amazon, Walmart, Boeing, and Ford are moving away from such initiatives, let's be honest, they're just shifting it around. They're hiding it in different ways. Amidst the growing national scrutiny, Disney is doing the opposite, proudly incorporating DEI into its board selection process and executive bonuses. Strikingly, Disney made no public announcement or press release accompanying the filing this year, raising eyebrows and questions about whether the company is trying to downplay its ongoing DEI focus in the face of public criticism. Bottom line, they're still doing it. They may not be putting it up front and anything like that, but they're doing it. So I ask the question now. Is Hollywood, are they aware enough? Are they conscious enough? Are they reading the room enough to understand this is not the way, and going the way of small budget movies where you're just because literally that movie, I'm gonna say it, there's no DEI there. It's two white dudes and a white chick. There's no diversity Olympics in that movie.
I think you're going to see.
Where do they go?
What it is it.
Yeah.
I think that smaller studio. I mean, Lionsgate isn't Disney by any means. They're big, but they're not Disney. You're going to see studios like Lionsgate just looking to make money. In all honesty, they're going to be predatory on these kinds of things. You'll probably see, if they were smart studios like that, they'd be putting out some kind of alternative to the giant budgeted slop that's coming out and coming in and picking off the carcass of a movie that bombs and saying, hey, we've got come watch our movie. It's not shit. Like they should be less afraid of putting out movies like this, like Flight Risk, against something like a Captain America and say, we're going to let the cards land where they may. We think this is going to bomb and people might choose to come see our movie instead and they'll make money on it. Like that's what the problem is when these movies bomb, is there isn't enough other studios out there saying, we're going to make something cheap, engaging, dramatic character study films, bullshit action films, just stuff that doesn't cost a lot, but that'll be a lot more interesting for people to go see. Like if MGM had that Chuck Dixon, Jason Statham Working Man movie coming out the same weekend as, say, Captain America, Falcon, whatever you want to call him, I would go see the Working Man over Captain America any day because it just looks like a action flick. Like, I'm down.
You're absolutely right, Prof. The fact that there used to be a fear, you don't try to go up against these movies, you will fail. There isn't that fear anymore.
Yeah,
there is no fear of the big budget Disney movie or one of their tentpole, one of their company, one of the subsidiaries, MCU or Lucasfilm. Nobody's afraid because nobody's interested. People want escapism entertainment, and what we saw just right there was with Striking Distance or whatever it's called. I just lost the name of my man. Whatever. That's Flight Risk. Thank you. I don't know where I got Striking Distance from. I have no idea. Flight Risk. That's escapism right there. There's no politics in that. It's just bad guy versus good guys. That's it. Can they survive? Who's going to be alive or dead when all is said and done? What's the final confrontation going to be? How bad is Mark Wahlberg's character going to be mutilated when he finally gets it in the end? Because he's the bad guy. He's going to get it. Pretty obvious. As opposed to in 2 weeks, Black Falcon Captain America is going to be dripping with agenda. Do better, Senator. It's going to be all over the place in that. There is a difference, and you're right. People see the difference. They see what's going to be entertainment and what isn't. And Black Falcon Captain America will probably make between $400 and $500 million. But because of the real budget, the one we know that truly exists, that isn't a profit, as opposed to, as we said, for Flight Risk with a $25 million budget. If that thing happens to catch a small wave and ride it for the next month or so and break $100 million, it's going to make a profit of $40, $50, $60 million that Black Falcon Captain America hasn't made. Will never make.
Exactly.
That movie will never see a profit. Snow White will never see a profit. Thunderbolts will never see a profit. None of these will see a profit. But a tiny little mid-budget movie will do that. And also, to go back to the fact that Mel Gibson is now leading the way to making these. If he puts this out, this could be a great push towards, look what they did on a small budget with a good director and a small cast. In a very simple story. Jed, it's not a complicated story.
Oh, God, no. It is straightforward. It is simple. Just like you said, how bad is Mark Wahlberg going to be disfigured by the end? We can extrapolate the entire plot from just that minute of the trailer that we watched. And that's okay. Just like you're saying, this is a mid-level film. It's not supposed to blow you away. This isn't supposed to be some dark and intense film that makes you think like Christopher Nolan. It is just supposed to be a few hours of escapist entertainment. And escapism is just a lost art in Hollywood. And this film, I don't think it's going to do exceptionally well, but it doesn't need to. Just like you said, $100 million would be success for this film.
Yes.
And when was the last time we talked about a film that just needed $100 million to be called a success?
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Sound of Freedom. That's what comes to mind.
It's incredibly rare these days. So it's all about comparative success. Like we were talking about Sonic 3 versus Lion King. The way that you measure success for those two movies is entirely different. But the people who aren't aware of that situation will, well, Lion King made more money, therefore it was more successful. It's always been more complicated than that. The people who are like, oh, Indiana Jones, it made its budget, so therefore it's a success. It's a lot more complicated than that.
Doesn't work like that. Exactly.
No.
So
Not at all.
I put it to that, and I go back to Mel Gibson again, because there's an interesting little thing. Last year, our good friend Samuel the Infamous brought a little movie called Island in the Stars to our attention. We were promoting it, the Indiegogo, so they could get that first leg of funding done, so they could get other investors involved. And it reached its goals, and they got their other investors, and they're going to make that movie. And here it is. I'm just going to bring it up for reference. It's a classic science fiction Pirates of the Caribbean-esque thing. We're not going to play the trailer because we don't have time for that. You want to watch us go over it again? We did it on Mel Mondays earlier in the week. It's unlisted, but you could find it on playlist. This movie is great, and you notice, oh, who does that look like? Oh, that looks like Mel Gibson, because guess what? According to our good friend, Jay Fraser 360, I don't know if he's in the audience today in the chat, but he let us know that the casting options have gone out. Mel Gibson, the villain. Mel Gibson, the villain. They want Mel Gibson, the villain. They have sent out the thing right here to play the villain. And if Mel Gibson, who is on board with what Trump wants to do, to make entertainment great again, to make Hollywood great again, he might just do this for a pittance, to be a part of what he thinks is a good project for fun. It's exciting. It's great. It's going to be great. At the same time, they send stuff out to my favorite, Claudia Black. Ooh, yeah. Send her out there. They sent stuff out to where is it? Sam Neill. Now, I don't know if they're going to get Sam Neill. He's battling cancer right now. I don't know if they're going to get if he's going to do anything. He's battling cancer. But they also sent to Hugo Weaving. They've sent out stuff to Hugo Weaving. They sent out to Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo.
Very diverse cast. Huh.
They sent out. They put together this is their dream thing. And if people like this want to get behind it to make an adventure, a woman searching for her father, running from space pirates. If they want to do that, a fun and this artwork, this concept art looks beautiful. If they do this and Mel Gibson gets behind it, this could be a return, a nice, fun sci-fi adventure that they just want to make the one movie. They're not thinking about franchise, one movie, one piece at a time. They put out good stuff like this. This could be a return to norm. That's why I think there's a distinct possibility that Mel Gibson might sign on to this because of the current environment that we're in, where he is a part of the team that's trying to make this shit work. And I will say this is the only thing I'm excited to see. We're probably a couple years away from it coming out, but I want this movie. I want it now. I want it here. I want to enjoy every minute of it because it's excitement. It's fun. It's old school, and it's great. So you have this kind of push versus this kind of garbage. Which one is it? Which one wins? I don't know. I do not know. Yeah. And that's the scary part. Because to me, it's a simple answer. Do the thing that's going to make you money. Do the thing that's going to win you hearts and minds. This doesn't win hearts and minds. This wins heart and minds. Stuff like Flight Risk, not necessarily Flight Risk, but mid-level budget thriller action movies win hearts and minds.
Yep.
That's what we want. That's what we're excited for. But my fear is that the people who want to do this kind of stuff, Island of Stars, Flight Risk, all the stuff like that, I still don't think they have enough power to push back against this. I don't think. They mention here that Amazon and Walmart, Boeing, that they are, well, Amazon's the only one that counts here because they're in the entertainment industry somewhat. I think Amazon doesn't really care. They do it as long as they want to do it. But the other Hollywood companies, Warner Brothers, how wedded are they? Are they really going to try and make good stuff again? Or are they going to keep pushing out crap? I don't know. It's a wait and see. Final thoughts before we move on? Anybody?
We just have to wait and see at this point. Like your earlier question, does Hollywood have the wherewithal to recognize that it needs to change? It's going to come down to studio by studio for the answer to that. Disney, it's going to take them well over a decade, I think, to actually see any real change, if it even goes to that point, survives that long. But small studios, Lionsgate, I don't remember seeing a whole lot for them that was negative over the last 2 years. Like, I don't remember seeing a whole lot of woke movies for them or political movies or anything like that. I mean, they made Songbirds and Snakes, the Hunger Games prequel, which is just garbage. But
that was a bad cash grab attempt.
Yeah, that was just a bad cash grab. But yeah, it's going to come down to each studio. I think Universal has a chance to make things right. I think Warner Brothers, if they start, making good business decisions, it'll work out for them. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to studio by studio and who's willing to change. Because I think they all have the wherewithal to recognize that they should change, but how many of them will act upon that is more the bigger question. And Disney, it's too late for Disney. They have to double down.
And I think it's all. This is the year that it's going to hurt, because this is the year where the last round of Slop is coming out. And a lot of money is going to be lost this year, Avatar 3 notwithstanding. So the results of the financial losses of this year will likely dictate where they go next year. So we'll see. It's a wait and see thing, unfortunately, but we'll be here to talk about it. And now we move on to our next topic, our last topic of today, video games. Video games. Let's MCU forgot. Okay, sorry. Oh no, we got one more thing. Sorry. One more thing from MCU. You want to watch 20? Oh, it's a minute. It's a minute. Well, Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I forgot. We need to go over this real quick.
You're trying to forget because you have to watch it next week.
Yeah, I know, but I want you to preview of what we're going to deal with. So first of all, right away, oof.
Ouch. My eyes.
I know whose art you're stealing this from. Like, this was an indie artist back in the I want to say the 90s. He drew the Clerks comic. It looks a lot like a guy called Jim Mahfood. He did like Oni Press shit. He was very off to the side kind of guy, but it looks like that. Like this very
it
not
looks
sloppy,
bad.
but
it's what they're going to do is sloppy here. Which is point is though, this looks bad, and this is the next thing from the MCU right now. It right alongside Black Falcon, Captain America, because this is MCU. It's multiverse. So there we go.
Are you okay?
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I've been better, but
Now you notice everybody in the background, they're not moving. It's like took everything.
It's a motion comic.
Exactly. It's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
What are they even supposed to be doing? The people in the background, they're all just looking in random directions. It's like, they should all be looking at the destruction that you see.
Yeah.
Dude, C-Lab looked better than this back in the day.
Oh, C-Lab was glorious.
It's the same kind of idea, though. You've got these half-still characters, and they're barely animated.
And it looks fake.
Yeah.
Now they're just trying to make it like a comic. No, don't.
definitely
Yeah, we
could have
don't want
been worse. Midtown, on the other hand.
What is this?
Yeah, I was here for orientation.
What is this?
These actors are so invested in their roles. You can just hear the emotion.
This is when you get voice actors that that you don't spend the money on them, you get this. This is the voice acting is emblematic of the animation, though. I will give them that. Still,
it does fit.
Freshman, huh? Same. But I have a feeling we won't be getting a sign class.
The lip syncing is all off. It's all off. It's
So,
not like
instead of
I
making
got to
it
watch a
work-
lot of anime, so I'm pretty into watching synchronization. Go ahead.
So instead of trying to make it work for its language of origin, they're just trying to make it unsync with every language equally.
That's a good way to put it.
It's equality.
Now look at this dude in the background. Watch this.
Classes anytime soon.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, you got a name, hero?
Oh, they went for the split screen, the comic panels. Property sold.
It looks awful. Seriously, the Lego Batman game on the DS looks a lot better than this.
Don't you bring your Lego games back into this. We've talked about
Sorry.
this.
The Lego
No, I agree with Dragon Lady. I would rather see a Lego version of this.
Look at these women in the back.
Sorry,
They're just
Peter
Are you
there.
sure that they're women?
Nice to
How
meet you.
dare you gender them?
I'm Mika Minoru.
Oh,
Oh! Oh!
The moment he realized she was Asian.
Okay, rude. I didn't name myself.
no, something.
Look, everybody. What is this?
That lady in the back's almost T-posing.
Looks like
going on here? This is
Looks
a
like a
disaster.
glitch.
This is such a disaster.
It made it so much cheaper to animate, though, Adam.
Oh yeah, I bet. But
What is the budget on this? $5.
Nothing is dynamic in this. There's no dynamic. It is dead. It is flat.
Yeah.
No life to it.
Hey, Peter? Pete.
Now I think that's Aunt May.
What happened to him?
That's Aunt May. It's like you're clearly trying to keep going down. Let's make her younger, and younger, but it's
So they don't have to kill her, which I've been calling for since Brand New Day.
I don't know. He didn't like my name. Hey, Peter. Peter, talk to me.
That's it. Yeah, this comes out next week.
You're gonna
Good
love
luck, Adam.
every moment of.
I am
reviewing it.
gonna have so much to say, most likely. Now, I bet I'm hoping these things are like no more than 20, 22 minutes a pop.
Do we know how many
God,
episodes
yeah.
there are? It's 10, right?
Yeah. Oh, what happened there? Whoa.
Oh,
What was that?
What? I have no idea.
StreamYard just
I
did something.
didn't. All right, let's
Hands.
here we go. Back to normal. I don't what just happened there?
I wasn't sure if that was just me or not.
No, I didn't touch anything. I
It's,
didn't do anything.
Dragon's
Nothing
Lady icon not come back for you guys either.
No, yeah, she's
Yep,
your
it's
gone.
avatar's gone. Your avatar's gone. But okay, that aside. No, I am gonna have so much to say when I watch it. There's 10 episodes, 2-episode premiere, the following week, 3 episodes in one day, and they're just doing episode batch drops every week until it's done. They know they got hot garbage. They know this thing is a flaming pile, but I'm gonna be there for it. Watch me suffer. Right up until Black Falcon Captain America. So I just wanted that as the sprinkles of how bad it's going to get. It's going to get bad. Right. So now let's get into our last topic of the day. Video games. We got a very interesting bit of news this week. Well, we knew it was bad because we reported on it constantly. We were called liars. We were called angry nerds, chuds who just couldn't handle trainee dating simulator game that was Dragon Age the Veilguard. We couldn't handle it, but it failed, and it failed spectacularly. It failed so spectacularly, it only sold 1.5 million copies. They thought they were going to get 10 million. Dre said they needed 15 million sold to break even in today's budget. They needed 1.5 billion to break even. This thing is a disaster. It is all but destroyed BioWare, which is leading me to the fact that I'm going to do a live stream later tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's an autopsy stream, the life and death of BioWare. We're going to walk our way through its life history and show where it all went wrong when it started off so good. And this is the final nail in the coffin. We don't even really care about Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever you want to call it at this point. This is what made it all worse. And it was such a financial disaster combined with other things that went on in the EA Sports area, the EA Live stuff. I don't know what's going on there. People are telling me, oh, their live service stuff has been hurting. But that, you have to understand, that stuff is not the major story. The major story is the destruction of BioWare. You have to understand. People want to say, oh, but the live service, they're losing money. Veilguard was in production for over a decade. That is billions of dollars sunk into this game. It's a lot of money. Maybe not billions, but hundreds of millions. Over if Dre said the break even was 1.5, it probably had a production value of at least $1 billion, almost $1.5 billion in the end. Because they rewrote this thing 2-3 times, 3 or 4 different creative directors. it's disaster to the point where all this combined, EA stock out of nowhere when they announced all their news about this plummeted. Did you guys have this on your AAA bingo card failure for the year?
EA, yes, absolutely.
You did? Okay.
Oh yeah, there's just so much wrong with EA through BioWare and everything else that it doesn't surprise me at all. I think Ubisoft's gonna hurt more, but still, it was bound to happen with EA.
I'm thinking about buying some Ubisoft stock. It's trading for less than $2.50 a share. When somebody buys it, I wind up making money. So
well,
when anyone buys it.
Put a pin. We're gonna get to Ubisoft in the next part of it.
I actually have the stock pulled up for that discussion.
Okay. Right. Put a pin in that. Let's just finish it. So I honestly didn't have EA on my bingo card because I didn't realize it was this bad. I knew Veilguard was going to be bad. I didn't know it was going to be basically the straw that broke their financial back in this quarter, in this fiscal quarter. I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea. And
how much lower can it go? Is the question.
It's the weekend, so it doesn't really matter. We'll see tomorrow what EA stock. I mean, it says they rebounded a little bit on Friday, but either way, here it is. Here it is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if this keeps, if AAA keeps going the direction that it is, who comes in to scoop up EA?
Okay. Question. Well, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be the end of EA. They haven't had the consistent failures of Ubisoft.
Yes, not the end, but once you get down into that, like trading at $70 a share, like really big companies start to eyeball you. Is what I'm saying. Like they could start to become a target of a takeover.
Okay, all right.
Just gonna buy it all
put
up.
a pin in that again. That's the after we get through the Assassin's Creed stuff. That's the last part of this discussion today. So put a pin in that as well. So EA, here's the stage set. EA, another AAA company among all of them, just had the rug pulled out from under them all of a sudden like this. This is a disaster for them. But now that brings us to the other pink gay elephant in the room. Ubisoft and Shadows. Ubisoft and Shadows, that the failure we're watching. They released a story trailer the other day, and this is just to warm us up. I haven't watched it yet.
You're in for a treat.
I saved this just for you guys. I dipped out of Ballbusters for 5 minutes on Friday so they could talk about it and watch it and react to it. I wanted you guys because you're my audience, not Dermy. You are my audience, even though some of you were there. I'm not going to give Dermy freebies. All right, he doesn't get my content for free.
Yeah, he pays for the poll.
Oh God damn it!
It's hard to remember. Blood.
Breathe deeply.
Right away. Now a front and center.
Yeah, they want to distract from the other guy.
Where's the black man?
I will have to say for the majority of this trailer and pretty much all the other Shadow stuff, I don't have a whole lot to say against Naoe. Like what we've learned about her story, her abilities.
Dude.
I don't have really anything to say against her. Some of her stuff looks good.
If
her
she
gameplay
was the
looks interesting.
If she was the character, there wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, and even the story doesn't sound that bad. What we're about to get here, we do find out it is set in the 1800s, and the Templars are back. They don't really focus on that, but it is getting a little bit more of a traditional Assassin's Creed with her story. So there are things to be positive about when it comes to Naoe, and like
the Brotherhood
else.
exists at this point, so that's when it is. So the Brotherhood exists, so she should be brought into the Brotherhood because it's not another there's no Brotherhood around. She's just kind of an assassin, yet not an assassin situation.
And it's not pre-order the ancients and the
all right,
just the old names for everything.
Yeah,
the hidden ones.
Tell me about your nightmare.
There is evil at work in our homeland. Greedy lords who bring war.
He comes.
Okay, so far I don't have a problem with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is the Naoe stuff looks fine, and even with the gameplay trailer stuff, her parkour looks really good. There's some new features that they're trying to do Syndicate, where like they add in other stuff to help the parkour, like the grappling gun in Syndicate. they're doing stuff like that with a rope, and it looks good. I really don't have anything to say about anything bad to say about Naue.
Oda Nobunaga. Ika is under attack. This blade cannot be taken.
What?
Now is the time.
Yeah, she should have been the protagonist, not a split protagonist. And I'm sure he's gonna make an appearance soon. He has to.
These people don't care about us. Blood for blood.
This land will soon be unified.
Oh no.
Yeah, pretty much the rest of the trailer's about him now.
Oh no.
But yeah, all the Naue stuff, they show her actually being an assassin using stealth. And she is a small woman, but that actually lends itself to the stealth mechanics. And it seems to be inspired a lot by the 90s Chinese movies. Like, I got a lot of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon from the way that she's portrayed in this. And I think that's a good thing. Obviously not as over the top as the flying around and shit, but still. Yeah. Like, it
no
makes sense.
Stuff. None of the
they're taking advantage of her slight frame and not just making her girl boss, at least from what we've seen.
And the point is, this game should have gone back to being an Assassin's Creed game, more about being an assassin than open combat. I mean, when going back to the Ezio trilogy, you didn't want to get in open combat. If you ended up in open combat, that means you fucked up. You fucked up your mission. Suddenly you're running around. At least in the first two games. The third one, when you're fighting those guys, there was a lot of open combat because it's a different world over there. But when you're Ezio running around Rome and Florence and all that stuff, you don't want to get in combat. You want to get the job done in advance.
It was a stealth game, not an RPG.
Yes. And if they had gone back to just Naue being stealth, not getting in a lot of open combat, it fits perfectly. Kunoichi, ninja, stealth attacks, in and out, done. But now here comes Yasuke.
By my vision. Is that tyranny? I ride with you.
Wait, did he just speak with a Japanese voice? I ride with you. Did I just hear that?
Yeah, he culturally appropriated a Japanese accent when he moved in.
Why was his accent Asian?
And something that people need to realize is dreadlocks are not black culture. They started with the Vikings. And as far as I'm aware, dreadlocks weren't that popular in the 1800s with black people yet. That wasn't a thing yet, especially not in Japan.
And
but nowadays, black people have dreads.
He would have to have somebody do that for him, too. Who's going to do it for him? He can't do it himself.
It doesn't make sense.
Life, I have been caught on your wind, blown across the world. I see potential in this man.
Oh, it's devolving, Jed. This trailer is devolving.
Yeah, I think Shadows would be a success if Naue was the only protagonist.
Yes, there would be no news.
What is it with Yasuke's helmet? His helmet just looks very
the helmet designs are fine. No, that's all proper. There's nothing wrong with any of that. The only problem is he exists. That's his only problem.
The black soldier is not one of us. Send him back to wherever he belongs. He may become a legend.
He may become a legend? Are you kidding me? This guy was a toy. I mean, this is ridiculous now. Now it's falling apart. You had me and you lost me immediately. And he's getting the better part of this trailer now.
Yep.
Or he may die. Kill me? No. Tools belong in the old world. This is the way forward.
You slaughtered innocents!
The blade. It is sharp.
God, his voice is just wrong. It's so light. There's no bass to it. I'm sorry, I'm not being racist. He's a giant black man. There should be some bass in his voice.
No, I want to see if anyone else got this impression from the trailer. From the story trailer, the way they framed it, especially with that interaction, it feels more like to me that he's being set up as being the primary antagonist.
Yeah.
With how they framed it, if I didn't know any better, I'd think, oh yeah, that's the bad guy, and now he's going to be going up against him, and he's being put up as the strong henchman to the warlord.
Yeah, but we know better.
Yeah, we know better.
We know better.
You are part of something bigger than this war.
Yeah, there's a Templar medallion.
Our fates are connected.
We have all seen darkness. Some have been that darkness. Because you believe in my cause?
Whoa! 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 Hold on.
Glad you got that.
You believe in
Look at tons of fun right there. She didn't miss a Happy Meal. What is that? What is that? Man,
if you were white, Yasuke would get nothing done in the game.
Where the white women at? Well, Yasuke might make an exception. That's a lot of meat on that lady because that's a woman. That is a woman. Whoa. Did you think I was going to miss that?
I thought you might. Shot, so.
Oh, man. No way. Oh, wow. Here comes your DEI. Oh, no. Let's finish it up.
my cause? We have come together, despite it all, to bring change, to bring light.
Yeah, yeah. If it was just her, if it's just her, Ubisoft is not in trouble. Ubisoft would sell 20 million copies. They'd make a shitload of money. They would put us all to shame. Anybody that said this extra time was to lessen Yasuke's prominence in the game, you're full of shit. Also, because Dre told us it would be impossible at this stage of the game. They can't undo what they've made. In the amount of this thing been pushed back now 6 months. There was no time to redo the entire game, not with the elements involved. If it was just Naue fighting the good old-fashioned Brotherhood fight against Templars, you've got a winner here, man. You got everything people asked for a decade. Assassin's Creed in Japan. Doesn't matter if it's a woman. We're okay with that, especially if she's operating a proper ninja-type aspect. This, as soon as you got to, what was it, the 1 minute right here? Right here. When 1 minute in, so you got to 1 minute in, and they shifted to him and essentially spent the rest of the trailer trying to tell us how important Yasuke is to the story. Yeah, you lost it. You completely lost it. Completely.
Well, and I think Assassin's Creed beyond the story in the franchise in the last several games, there's been gameplay issues, especially Mirage. Mirage's gameplay is garbage from its parkour to its combat. And from what we've seen from the gameplay trailers, her combat is actually an improvement. Her parkour is an improvement. There's obviously some inspiration, ripoffs taken from Ghost of Tsushima with the blue lights, meaning that you can parry it, red light, meaning you have to dodge. That stuff's garbage. But there's definitely improvements made in the gameplay from the last game that with the combination of the story looking good for her, they could have had a winner. Legitimately, I would have nothing to complain about, but it's clear that their motivations were wrong. Yasuke's character involvement is wrong on so many levels, beyond the historical, beyond just in gameplay. A big thing with him is gameplay. And I
want to see his
can't
gameplay? You want to see his gameplay?
Yep.
Yasuke's gameplay.
We're going to get some classic Ubisoft glitches.
I mean, seriously, man. Seriously.
$100 a copy, everybody. Go get it.
$130 for the whole kit and caboodle with the DLC for pre-order. So, yeah, this it's a disaster already on all levels. So much so that right here, they put this stuff on the play. Jed, you mentioned it. They showed us gameplay for this thing. It got roasted this week when they put this stuff out. People tore it apart. And here's how desperate they are. I found this article right before we went live. Intel is trying to they want to give it away with their new processors.
I was getting newsletters from games saying pre-order Assassin's Creed Shadows, get all this merchandise. No thanks.
Intel's like, here, we'll give it to you. Just buy our new and get our new processor for your computer. We'll give you Civ 7 and Shadows. They have to give this shit away because nobody's buying. We
and
just
they're
saw.
going to count those towards the sales.
I bet.
Oh, absolutely, they are.
Yeah, because Intel already made the buy. They already bought it.
Yep.
It's an Intel product now. So there is. I'm gonna say it now. There is no hope for Shadows.
None.
It has already failed, and it hurts even more because now I see there was a good game in there. There was a good game in there, especially when it comes to Naue, her gameplay, her story, her mechanics, everything. There was a good game. Could have gotten us back to Ezio Trilogy basics, and you could have had fun, and they would be done. But no, the reality is, this is what we did have on our bingo card. Ubisoft not surviving as an independent company through this year. They don't survive because they're going to lose their shirts. And the one of the possibilities, Prof brought it up, somebody could buy them. Stock's going to go low enough. They could also file for bankruptcy and have their pieces bought off.
Ooh,
one at a time.
I was thinking that just now, actually. Like, I would love it if Nintendo would buy Rayman and Rabbids and
That's right
fucking
up their
do
alley.
something with that themselves.
Nintendo has worked with Rabbids before, so I mean, yeah.
They have. They've done great stuff with them too. So, yeah, they should buy it. Like, they should let it go to bankruptcy and part this all out to people that actually want to deal with the IPs.
Well, that's why I'm leaning towards the possibly more bankruptcy, because Tencent pulled out of the deal. Tencent, who owns enough to try and make a deal, they were doing it, but because the Guillemot family, whatever the hell the name is, because they were being bitches about it, they pushed too much. They wanted too much of control to remain in theirs. Tencent, the evil commie Chi-Com corporation that they are, said, you know what? Even we don't want to deal with you. We don't. So,
yeah. Well, and the market in America for wholly owned Chinese companies is turning a little sour these days.
Exactly. So there is a very little hope for Ubisoft. They are going to go down, but they're here. So we've seen all this stuff. Jed, you got a couple more things on Assassin's Creed?
Yep, there's a couple more things for Shadows.
Yeah, bring it up.
All right, I'm already sharing it. Yeah. All right, so for those of you who play Ghost of Tsushima, there's a great little set of mini games where you sit down, you meditate, and you compose a haiku. And it looks like Shadows is going to have their own version of that. And I don't think you're prepared for what this is going to look like.
So she's doing hand signs. What is she going to show me? A shadow clone?
That's it. People compiled these and sped up the footage to make it look like she's rapping or something. But yeah, no, that's what you got.
Go ahead.
It's just that's all she's doing.
All I'm thinking of, this is Naruto jutsu, and she's gonna do something like to blow some fire or summon a shadow clone.
She's gonna turn into a black
This
guy.
is meditation. They're calling it meditation.
You know, when Jed first mentioned this to me yesterday, I thought it was going to be Yasuke doing a haiku, and I said he's going to rap. He's going to rap and he does it. And
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen him doing these mini games. I'm sure he could walk.
Oh,
up
he
and
has
do
his
so.
own. He has his own. But this is sad. This isn't what I mean. It's clearly some sort of meditation thing. But as far as it's like you said, it's a quick time event. It's like, oh, I'm pushing the buttons.
Yeah,
it doesn't even look all that complicated. It's all like Ghost of Tsushima, where I had to cut the bamboo strands, and I had to hit that combination.
It's funny that you mentioned bamboo because
it is.
all the people who are so excited about this game coming out, they're all talking about how satisfying it is to cut bamboo in this game. There's several tweets using the same footage. They're so excited about it. There's different footage for this one here. I brought up a couple, but I just want to show you the footage of them breaking bamboo. These are people who have early access to the game. These are people who they're shills. Yes. And this is what they're telling us about. And yeah, I don't think you're ready for how amazing cutting bamboo looks in Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Mm. What just happened?
What the hell? It just all fell over.
He bulldozed through the lot. He bulldozed through
They're
them.
legitimately saying, "Wow, this is awesome," and some people were saying, "Yeah, I don't know why you people are acting like this isn't a big deal. Ghost of Tsushima didn't do it this well." Just like, have you not played games before? And yeah, this is a great example. People just keep sharing, like, "Yeah, we've been able to cut stuff in games before."
Yeah. This is.
That's what they're marketing. The shills are just like, yeah, we can cut bamboo in this game.
Yeah,
this game is
I'm
10 out of 10.
sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. This is a failure.
Fruit Ninja did it better.
Fruit Ninja did it better.
All right.
We also have Ubisoft stock to show,
Uh-huh.
and if you want, we can watch the Animus Hub trailer. I think you'll love what that turned out to be.
Let's do that too. And then
All right, just real quick, I looked at the stock today.
Oh wow!
So the lowest I saw here was September. It was 2.21, which is really bad. They haven't had something that low in over a decade. Since 2013, they haven't had stock that low. This is their Odyssey spike, and this is their Valhalla spike, which is surprising to me because Valhalla was the highest selling Assassin's Creed game. That sold 20 million copies. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
But this is what their stock is like at a 10-year low, more than 10-year, a 12-year low.
They earned it.
They definitely earned it. Now, let me reshare this for the Animus Hub. So I've been telling people about Assassin's Creed Infinity for a little while now. It was their plan for a live service game. It seemed like you'd be making a current day person who would be able to interact with the present day story, and then you'd go into the Animus, and different seasons would be different eras, different characters that you relive. It's been reimagined a little bit since then. This is the trailer for the Animus Hub, which is the rebranded Assassin's Creed Infinity.
The Animus Hub, appearing for the first time in Assassin's Creed Shadows. The Animus Hub is your gateway into history and a seamless way to dive into the latest Assassin's Creed games. Let's step into the Animus and take a look around.
Okay.
The Animus Hub gives you access to 4 distinct features: memories, projects, the exchange, and the vault. The memory database takes you to the latest Assassin's Creed games. Here, you can start your journey as Naoe and Yasuke, or scroll through the timeline to play the games of other recent heroes in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Whether you feel like stepping into
They just eliminate Alexios from this.
They
the
say
more
he's
popular
there,
version.
though. They say he's
Yeah,
there.
but they show every other duo, but they don't show him.
Yeah.
But you super excited about this, Adam? You stoked for the Animus Hub?
Nope. I gotta say though, I do like Cassie's redesign a little bit. She's they redesigned
A bit prettier.
Yeah, made it a little prettier. I like that.
Ancient Egypt, the Golden Age of Baghdad, or the Viking Age. The choice is yours.
Well, I thought it was
Up
supposed to be a
next.
chick. And Ivor was a dude there.
No, Ivo, they had the weirdest explanation for the gender options, but it technically is either.
Next is projects. In projects, you'll gain access to regularly released gameplay missions in Assassin's Creed Shadows called anomalies. Complete these in-game missions to unlock exclusive rewards like new weapons, new gear, data files, and keys. Keys can be used to acquire in-game rewards in the exchange. Here, you'll build your arsenal of equipment.
So we're already just this was supposed to be a live service game,
Yeah.
is how they marketed it originally, and now it's just the Ubisoft store on Assassin's Creed Shadows. That I don't know how you're going to be able to replay the memories of other characters. Like, are they saying that they made individual missions for these characters? Are they saying that you can download the other games through Shadows and play them?
That's what I'm trying to put together in my head. What does it mean?
And then there's some missions that you can do inside of Shadows to unlock rewards. Wow. This This is real exciting stuff. This is the next chapter in Ubisoft. This was being put up there as the future of Assassin's Creed. I was talking about, like, if they could pull off Infinity, they might be able to limp the franchise and the studio along for a couple more years.
No.
But that is not the case. The rest of it's just talking about how you can buy gear and upgrade it in the different areas
Give
and
us your
whatnot.
money. Give us your money.
But yeah, that's where we're at. The Animus Hub is the future of Assassin's Creed. Are we thinking that this will save Ubisoft?
No. And that's a perfect segue to the last of this part of this discussion then. Pull the pins out. Prof mentioned it earlier. What's going to happen? You've got EA is now in trouble. Real trouble. You've got Ubisoft, we knew was in trouble. There are Japanese AAAs that are in trouble. Capcom, Konami, they're not doing well. Bandai Namco, they're not doing well. All the Western corpo devs, they're not doing well at all. Activision, Blizzard, we got problems everywhere. The AAA landscape, as we've known it for the past 20 years, is about to completely collapse. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Yeah. We're looking at a domino effect, and it started with Ubisoft, and now EA came in with a bowling ball and is accelerating it, in my opinion. What we have here is the end of an era. And as I see it, and I want your opinions on this, we now sit back and watch as these guys fall apart and the independent AA sphere becomes the next AAA, as they are still passionate about making good games. They care about their product. They care about the customers, the real fans. They listen to what you have to say. They make changes. That's why these games they put out there in beta for like 1-2 years with the early access stuff on Steam, because they get all the information and they make changes, fixes, so that when it is for real live, it's the game you wanted. And a lot of times I'll wait till the early access is done. I don't do early access that much. I very rarely do it. I wait. But do you guys think that in the next 2 to 3 years, because it's going to be a process, do you think that we're going to see the rise of brand new companies who are going to create new epic franchises who are passionate about bringing good games? Do you think that's going to happen?
I think we're going to see the start of it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
2 years
That's
is a little
exactly
too soon to actually see.
You know what I mean?
We're going to start seeing more things like, I know there's the drama with PlayStation, but still Arrowhead with Helldivers 2 was just a massive success.
Mm-hmm.
And just smaller studios like that becoming the runaway hits of the year. Because Helldivers 2 and Arrowhead, it's a small studio with a small budget for that game, and it was one of the most talked about games from the last year. I think we're going to see a lot more stuff like that. But it'll be the roots of new franchises and new AAA studios from these independent studios. We'll definitely begin seeing that in a wider scale over the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Prof.
Yeah, I agree exactly with what Jed said there. I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of these studios, a lot of these games. Like, who'd heard of the studio that developed what was it, Hades beforehand? Like Hades and Hades 2. Are a lot of fun, if you're into roguelikes, and like Path of Exiles 2. I hadn't heard of the first Path of Exile. Path of Exiles 2, everyone's talking about it, everyone's playing it, and it was not on anybody's radar in its first iteration.
It was on Static's radar. It was on Static's radar.
Well, everything like that is on Static's radar. Static spends a little too much time working from home gaming, but he's always on Steam. Whenever I see him on Steam more than I see him on any social media. But yeah, I think that's what you see, at least from what's going to come for the things to replace it. But I think the other thing you're going to see is, like we've been talking about with Hollywood, you're going to start seeing consolidation of studios. You're going to start seeing them collapse into each other.
That's a fear of mine. I don't want the giant corpos to absorb anything else. That's why BioWare has failed, because EA swallowed them, and over the years made them deteriorate in their quality. It's pretty much like 15 years ago where the cracks began to show in BioWare because EA kept making them rush these games out. They should not.
Yep.
I like Dragon Age 2 overall, but when they rushed it out, it had a massive bug in it. For if you played the warrior class, where it was called the slowdown bug, and it hit me. I was having a great time, and suddenly I couldn't beat the second act against the Arashock because the slowdown bug, because my main character going like this, couldn't move. I had to wait a month for a patch, and then I had to start over. I had to start over.
I hate that.
So
when you have those patch problems like that, it just kills all your momentum and your interest in some ways too. It's
I rediscovered my interest because I played it. And it's still one of my favorite games out there for that era. But the cracks were then, and that's because EA put the pressure on. Oh, you got to get it out now. You'll fix it's the equivalent. We'll fix it in post. We'll patch it on launch day. That kind of shit. You put the pressure out, and all these smaller companies who got absorbed have been putting out dog shit after dog shit after dog shit for years, and it gets worse and worse. And here we are. All the Ubisoft, for what it is one of the few left standing who are independent, but that they had their own problems that led to this. They got full of themselves. CD Projekt Red, how much longer are they going to remain? I mean, Jed knows if Witcher 4 is a disaster, they're going to get swallowed up by somebody.
Oh, 100%. They can't survive. They're putting too much on the table right now. They're making 5 games simultaneously, and they took them 10 years to make Cyberpunk. They put too much. They've risked too much. One failure means the end for them.
To be fair, though, when Bethesda got bought by Microsoft, we all thought it would get worse, and they still released a buggy, shitty game on launch that didn't work very well with Starfield. So, but they, that was shit for a lot of other reasons, but as Bethesda does, it was still a buggy pile of crap on launch.
Yeah. I mean, you would hope that some of these things would get cleaned up with organization, but we realize the corpos don't care. Activision Blizzard, as bad as ever. Nothing changed. Nothing got better. It got worse, frankly. It got worse over there. All this stuff. So we're gonna watch. And I hope what you said doesn't come true. I hope that they don't all get gobbled up. I hope that
some of them are going to.
They're going to, but it's only gonna it's cancer eating cancer, and make super cancer, and make it terrible, and it's only gonna kill the company and kill the franchises faster. I hope that by the end of the decade, you've got these double A's who have earned enough street cred, for lack of a better term, with fans and customers, not consumers, but customers, that you've got the birth of new franchises that look great and play great. And I know that a lot of them go the retro way, and I know a lot of people love retro. I lived in retro. I don't want to go back to it. I was there. I'm happy in modern day with modern day graphics and modern day gameplay. I don't need to go back to retro. I was a kid. It was fun then. It's not fun for me now. It's fun to look at and reminisce and remember the good old days, but they're the good old days for a reason. They were great then. It's not so great now. So I want to see them. I want to see these double A's get a hold of the good tech, get a hold of good teams, and make good games, because I can feel the passion in everything they do right now. I can feel it, and I want that, and that's the future. And I think that we're going to see the shift. A lot of these companies, they're not all going to go away, but like Prof said, they're going to get absorbed, but they're going to become lesser. And then suddenly here's somebody new with a new great thing that hopefully isn't owned by Tencent.
No, I'd be more afraid of it being owned by Microsoft, maybe Sony, but I don't know about Sony. I think somebody doesn't get away with not getting bought by Microsoft this year. They've got to have somebody underneath their crosshairs.
I feel like Sony is the lesser of the two evils, because Sony's gotten beat up enough lately that I feel they're going to start taking a more hands-off situation. I mean, look at what they did. This is more anime news, but with the whole Kadokawa thing, with the purchasing of that, because they wanted to get Darks. They wanted to get who makes Dark Souls? Shit, I just forgot the name of the company.
From Software?
From Sega. They just wanted From Software, but they couldn't just get From Software from Kadokawa. They had to get the whole thing. So in the end, it was too expensive to get all of Kadokawa. So they've created a kind of partnership with them to keep. It was also done to keep Tencent away. That was the other thing. That whole thing was done because Tencent was sniffing around. They wanted to just gobble up Kadokawa, and Kadokawa said, "Sony." Kadokawa literally said, "Sony, can you make a deal with us instead? You're a lesser of two evils." And Sony's like, "Yeah, you know what? All right, fine. We can't buy you whole out, but we will make a deal where we're going to work with you from software. But guess what? We're going to leave the anime stuff alone. We'll make a deal with Crunchyroll for something like for your distribution and stuff." But Sony, I think, is going back towards the more hands-off thing. They're not going to stop gobbling things up, but I think they're going to go more to back to the old hands-off. We're going to let these companies still work without us creating another Insomniac problem. I think Spider-Man 2 and Insomniac really and add on to that Concord, all the shit like that. I think they learned a bit of a lesson, not the whole lesson, but enough to say, you know what? Let's get away from the DEI shit because we just lost a shitload of money on both these games. So, so it's I think that we're going to see a lot of changes, hopefully some for the better, not for the worst, not going to be completely perfect. Best you can hope for is a happy middle ground. That's all you can ever really getting out of all this stuff. Happy middle ground where we get enough of what we like that we can continue enjoying it and not be miserable. All right. I think that's it. Do I have anything else? No, I think I got to it all. Yeah. Hey, we got through it all. Yay. We're done. All right. Yay. All right. So let's pimp our shit and get the hell out of here because I gotta get ready for another stream. Jed, what's your week look like?
Well, everyone can find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar, just regularly scheduled videos and live streams ending in Saturday Night Drive-In this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern, but Adam will get more into that.
Yes, I will in a second. Dragon Lady, what's your week look like?
Hopefully I should be doing some simming at some point or other. I remember posting it in. Other than that, that's just me, really.
Okay. Prof, you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, let's see. Well, not a ton of stuff. I'm going to be doing a general comic book convos tonight with MSK over on his channel. And then Rogues Gallery on Friday. Hoping to see Dermy, or not on Rogues Gallery, but also, besides Rogues Gallery on Friday, hoping to see Dermy reach his goal on Friday so I can listen to his painful rendition of the fanfic he asked me for.
Listen, that man is a whore, and he'll do anything for money. I put it out there. He's gonna probably end up shaving his head when all is said and done before Vegas.
Probably.
And then I said, "Well, will you take the remains and glue a mohawk to your head with some Gorilla Glue?" And I mean, he didn't say no.
Oh my God! Yes,
I mean, because I showed him we showed a video of another thing like where some Asian, not maybe an Asian, but some subcontinental dude super glued his lips shut. I said, "Hey, Jeremy, how about it? You want to super glue your lips shut? Make that a goal?" It's like, "No, I'm not going to do it." But then it led to the whole, "What will you do with Gorilla Glue or super glue?" And he didn't outright veto some of that shit. So he'll do anything. He even read
just about
fanfics about his parents having Christmas night sex on the stairs. If this man's
dude, he came to me in DMs and asked me for that, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it for a thing." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
all right." I made the ending as painful as I could think to make it, Adam.
So Ballbusters only gets worse. I don't know who our guest is this week. I haven't asked him about that, so you can tune in for that. Likely that'll happen. But as for myself, tonight you will be directed over there. I hope you stay and hang out. It's still about 2.5 hours away. An autopsy stream. It was supposed to be on Thursday, but my schedule got jacked on Thursday, so I did not have time to do it. But we're going to do it tonight. Autopsy, the life and death of BioWare. It'll be an open door stream, so who knows who will show up. It might just be me, it might not be. We'll do that for a couple hours, because then around 9 o'clock, 9:30, I got to head over and watch. Jed, I have to watch Deep Space Nine. I have to do it. It's work. Damn it.
Oh, how terrible.
Yeah, I got to watch Deep Space Nine with Brad.
Sure you'd rather watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Well, no, but I'm doing it for fun. I'm not actually making any profit on watching Deep Space Nine. It's pure fun. We're hanging out with Brad and Fractured and whoever else shows up to do that stuff. But we'll be recording another episode of Wormhole Watch, which Brad will put it out on Wednesday on his channel, Duke Devil. Then Monday, Mel Mondays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, where we just sit, chill out, have a good time. As I said on Wednesday and Thursday, because I ain't doing both one night. We got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man reviews coming out. Should be a glorious nightmare. Thursday, it's the end of the month, which means it's Anime Odyssey. Myself, Jeremy, it's a special Anime Odyssey episode. It's our first One Piece episode where we're going to talk everything from East Blue to Ennis Lobby. Gonna have a good time. We got a panel set up for that. Should be fun and games. As I said, Friday is Ball Busters. There eventually might be gaming because I've got a new PS5 controller on the way out. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, so might be more gaming coming on. You can stay tuned then for I lost my train of thought there. Drive-in, like Jed said. I'm losing it here. We got to end this. Drive-in this week. I thought I was being smart and clever last night. Like, we need to redo some of these movies that were on the original version of the show before Jed joined me as full-time. And I thought, I got to guess we got to read some of these. And I thought, hey, you know what? Hey, let's do Conan the Barbarian. Be great. And then Jed tells me, I was there for that one.
Still going to have a good time.
We're still going to do it. We're still going to do it because that episode isn't listed anymore. It doesn't exist. It's been deleted. It's gone. So we're going to do it. So we're doing Conan the Barbarian on Drive-In this week. Should be a good old-fashioned time. I'm sure there'll be some retardation on Saturday after that. And then we'll be right back here, 2 p.m. Eastern, next week for another roundtable. Thank you, Prof, for showing up today.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Adam.
No problem, man. Thank you all there in the chat. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. Without you, you don't get to do this. You're the one that keeps us going. If you guys weren't here, if I was literally streaming to 0 people, I'd give up. I would. It wouldn't be a problem. And thank you, everybody stuck around. I know the championship games are going on right now. I know we're up against football. For those of you stuck around to the end, thank you. I appreciate that. Next week, no more football until the Super Bowl. So we will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good night or day wherever you may be.